Are here with me. Let me start with the Punch Africa, which has on its front page our eight departed brothers who lost their lives on the back of that helicopter crash. A year from yesterday. Fairly well, fallen heroes. There have been celebrations all over throughout this week. Two celebrates the passing of these great and amazing gentlemen. Also on the front page, Sami Jamfi dismisses Kofi Bento's 200 million theft. The full story is on page 7 of this newspaper. Dr. Ufusu Ampofu's father to be laid to rest later this weekend. The story is on page 12. And MPP's defense of Wuntumi exposes criminal culture. Dr. Tony Edu says so. The full story is on page 8. After forcing to floor Baumia by up to 22%, according to Global Info Analytics. The full story is on page 8 of those newspaper. To the front page of the Informer newspaper, Mahama's ruthless pledge against Galamsey fails as Ghana remembers chopper crash victims, and Baumia speaks for Guineans, says democracy must free citizens from fear. The full story is on page 5. And 22 billion loss, gold board crashing Ghana's economy. IMF sounds. There's a photo here of Sami Jamfi and the Minister of Finance, Cassie Alato, forcing. Apenyo Marking gives 100 laptops to Futu teachers. That's also here. And stop diluting constitutional reforms, government told. There's a photo here of Professor Kwame who is giving those advice. To the front page of the Inquisitor newspaper, a year after a tragic helicopter crash, victims remembered. And in the last 24 hours, a number of events have been held to remember the passing of these 8 gentlemen. Stop press. Massive chop at local government institute. The story is on the front page of the Inquisitor. And Napo speaks at 2026 Buzia Institute lecture in the UK on Sunday. And Ofufu Ampofu's father to join his ancestors tomorrow. To the front page of the Ghanaian Point newspaper, we would stand with you. Mahama commemorates August 6 crash victims, vows lessons will not be forgotten, and democracy and the attack protesters petition Supreme Court presidency over alleged selective justice. The full story is on page 2. WAEC rejects claims of marking down private school candidates in the BC results. We brought you some sound bites of Mr. John Kapi, who is a public affairs manager for the organization. And then also on the front page, you have Stop Galamsey to truly honor helicopter crash victims. Samuel who tells governments and finish their work. Samuel Abuaja's widow urges action against Galamsey to honor departed. The full story is on page 6. Yes, finish their work. But is that likely to happen with Galamsey still very much on the accent in so many parts of this country? To the Free Press, and the front page of the paper has Kantanka Automobile releases new brand of vehicles and promoting African Caribbean partnership with Jamaica. The full story is on page 4. 215 million pound UK Ghana growth partnership is also here. The full story is on page 3 of the paper. And eco currency to be launched in July 2027. We've been talking about this for years, since I was a child, of getting, the countries in the West African sub-region to use one currency. It's been going back and forth, and we understand that the launch is going to be somewhere in June next year. Well, let's see whether that would come to pass. Let me move on to the front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. And on the front page, you have a year after helicopter crash. Nation remembers falling sons. And there's a photo here of some family members at a church ceremony in the last 24 hours. Also on the front page, drug-resistant bacteria widespread in environment and industrial waste. EPA launches 5-point strategy to curb spread. The full story is on page 13. And tertiary business sense challenge. GCTU, Pentecost University, advanced to Southeast Zone semifinals. The full story is on page 13 of this newspaper. And MTN launches Heroes of Change Season 8. They have doubled the prize money as well. The full story is on page 20 of the Daily Graphic. To the front page of the Daily Guide newspaper this morning, there are photos of the NPP demonstration yesterday. Lawyers protest selective court vacation sitting. There's a photo here of former Attorney General Godfred Yeboah-Dame. And Democracy Under Attack demo. Pictures of the NPP's demonstration in here. There were all kinds of videos that I did see yesterday. Some pretty much like expected. People who were there and who did not know why they were there. And I find some of these things very laughable, to be honest. How are you joining a demonstration and you don't even know why you are there? Maybe it lays claims to the conversations that we've been having all of this while, that people are just literally barged to some of these events. They don't know why they are there. They are given something, I don't know, breakfast, t-shirt, whatever it is, and they join some of these things. It's a shame. You can't spend your time 3-4 hours and you don't even know why you are there to support one demonstration or the other. Well, the MPP would say they had the numbers there, and for them, that's the most important thing, I guess. NPP storms Jubilee House, presents petition and the protest, and Mahama urges recognition of public servants. The full story is on page 6 of the paper. Let me get to the Daily Statesman, and on the front page, NPP allies fight against erosion of democracy. That's here, and petition Mahama after peaceful democracy and attack demo. And also on the front page, the Prempeh Assembly Hall to host National Thanksgiving service for Apostle Kwadwo Safo. Kwadwo Nkrumah challenges government for accountability over energy levies. That's also on the front page of the paper. Let me move on to the Daily Gist newspaper. CLC chair unhappy with government approach, and lawyers boycott CJ legal vacation trials. Read the full story on page 8. I'll join NDC presidential race. Asidi Nketia drops hints on 2028 ambition, and MPP soaks Accra with democracy under attack watch. And yesterday they had the numbers there. Apostle Kwadwo Safo Thanksgiving service for Prempeh Assembly Hall, and MPP tears into president's fuel price politics. The full story is on page 3 of this newspaper. Let me move on to other newspapers. The Source newspaper is reporting that the commission with respect to the RTI has slapped a 20k fine on public institutions. The full story is on page 4 of the paper. And selective justice demo rocks Accra. The MPP did their demonstration yesterday. Suspend warrants for vacation trials. Lawyers petitioning the CJ. And Omane Boama, others are remembered with respect to the helicopter crash. Of course. To the front page of the Daily Searchlight newspaper, Ghana's democracy under siege as opposition protests erupt over fears of authoritarian drift. That's here. WAEC private schools clash over buyers' claims, and a Showboy Foundation donates farm inputs worth up to 30,000 to Trifo Himine Senior High Technical School. Let me get to the front page of the Business and Financial Times newspaper. Get fund, UNESCO partner to boost AI digital skills in TVET, and inflation cools to 4.6%, but domestic pressures continue to dominate. The full story is on page 3. Also on the front page, you have Gold Board faces transparency test, IMF Agati press for stronger governance. The full story is on page 2. And also on the front page of the paper, governance, not capital, key to attracting investment into microfinance, according to Dr. Ankra, who wanted to be president in 2024. And I remember hosting him here. To the front page of the New Crusading Guide newspaper, politicians must leave good legacies for the youth. The full story is on page 10. And yesterday I happened to have been at a program with respect to the launch of a book by Dr. Joyce Manyo. If you were not there yesterday, you need to grab a copy of her book on political branding here in Ghana. An amazing event, and I was very, very privileged to be there, and the lessons that were shared. It looks like political parties are just joking. I mean, if you are at the events and if you listen to whoever was there, and there were some very profound keynote speakers on political branding here in Ghana. What we do here, maybe is 1/100, something like that. It's a complete joke. Anyway, let me still focus on the stories on the front page of the New Crusading Guide newspaper. 1.44 million Maslock audit claim. I didn't engage the audit firm. Dr. Stephen Amwa deflates, says Yoko Commission forensic audits, engaged auditor, and paid market rates for complex corporate fraud probe. Also on the front page, Nana Benyi makes history when manifesto launch as he challenges incumbents in MPP Germany chairmanship race. Hey, I see. Also on the front page of the paper, Godfrey Dame Atachia petitions CJ over vacation court sittings, and justice does not belong to lawyers or judges, according to Supreme Court Judge Justice Yoni Kulendi. To the front page of the Chronicle newspaper, another cocaine haul again. Police bust $6.928 million cocaine haul in Tema. Dutch national, 2 Ghanaians held. And the photo on the front page of the paper would blow your mind. The number of bags stuffed with cocaine here in Ghana. Also on the front page, let's build Ashanti region for Baumia's victory. The full story is here. And let me finally wrap up with just a few more. There are loads of private newspapers in Ghana these days. The front page of the Metro Lens has pictures of the democracy and the attack demo yesterday as thousands joined the NPP for this. The full story is on page 8 of the paper. And Kwame Dwomoh-agyemang's kind is difficult to find. The story is on page 11. And yesterday there was a bust of him at the Ministry of Defense. And High Court suspends Gazette of Paramount Chief of Enum Traditional Area. To the front page of the Canary newspaper, you have NPP shakes Accra with massive democracy and attack demo, and Eric Pokopu calls for stronger private sector support for agri growth, and Madam and journalist injuncts David Tamaklu from further false publications. The full story is on page 3 of the paper. And then also on the front page, you have government to tap dormant accounts for national developments. Hey, people's money, the fact that they've been dormant, one day they will come for them. And when they come and the money is not there, wahala for whoever touched the money. Tour revival is a restoration of our birthrights, according to President Mahama. There's a photo of him here together with the tour boss Edmund Combat. And to the front page of the Campaigner newspaper, Kwame Dwomoh remembered with Cenotaph. The MPP demo pictures are also here. And then finally, with the Ghanaian Times newspaper, inflation drops further to 4.6% in July. The full story is on page 13 of this paper. 2 Nigerians sentenced to 20 years for human trafficking. The story is on page 3. And 1 year after helicopter tragedy, nation remembers fallen heroes. The full story is on page 12. And GARCC enforces 50-meter waterway buffer rule. And MPP hits streets over democracy under attack. We get into the stories in the newspapers this morning. MPP killed Ghana's democracy. NDC's Rashid Tanko claps back. And then also on the Class FM online portal, there's another story attributed to Rashid Tanko Computer here. MPP's excuse for August 6th demonstration is nothing but a Choba Trojan horse exercise. Computer says so. And then you have, if NDC will think deep, they would end their vicious cycle now, according to opinion marking. The street is for Baumia now. Aggrieved Ghanaians join MPP demo. I haven't seen anything from Yoko. Miracles Abuaji reacts to his frozen assets. I don't feel safe in Ghana anymore. Miracles Abuaji says so. And students are being influenced by social media and hard drugs, according to Deputy Education Minister Clement Apark. And 866 parcels of suspected cocaine found hidden in Gary sacks at Tema. Dutch and 2 Guineans arrested. Government plans to use inactive bank accounts to fund national development. And woman jailed 3 years for abducting 8-month-old baby at Bandu Market. There are also other stories in here. Flood alerts. Evacuate yourselves from riverbanks. Nadmo warns communities in here, and Mahama unveils cenotaph in honor of late Defense Minister Kwame Dwomoh. In the central region, specifically Cape Coast, National Youth Authority pushes beach cleaning to protect health. And there are also other stories in the world of business as well. Dangote backs after says it holds key to Africa's development, and Dangote to build 16 billion East African oil refinery as well. There are stories in the world of showbiz and also stories in the world of sports. So make your way to the Class FM online portal and get to read extensively on these stories. So let me get into the newspapers now and focus on some of these stories that are there. Let me start with the Ghanaian Point newspaper this morning, and a number of stories on the front page that I think we should be paying attention to. The story concerning our falling heroes. Mahama commemorates August 6 crash victims, vows lessons would not be forgotten. The full story is on page 3 of this newspaper, and I read: President John Dramani Mahama has assured families of the 8 victims of the August 6, 2025 Ghana Armed Forces helicopter crash that the government and the people of Ghana continue to stand with them as the nation marks the first anniversary of the tragedy. The president gave the assurance on Thursday, August 6th, at the National Interfaith Memorial Service held in honor of the 8 individuals who lost their lives while on official duty. President Mahama said the painful incident must serve as a reminder to leaders and institutions to strengthen systems, improve safety standards, and ensure that the lessons from the tragedy are never forgotten. According to him, the memory of the victims places a responsibility on the country's leadership to build stronger institutions and create systems that protect those who dedicate their lives to serve Ghanaians. Quote, today should also be a moment of reflection for all of us who are entrusted with leadership, that every decision we make affects lives. Every public office is ultimately a sacred trust, President Mahama said. He stressed that leadership goes beyond occupying positions of authority and must be measured by the commitment to protect citizens and public servants. Quote again, sorry. Their memories therefore imposes upon a solemn obligation to build stronger institutions, strengthen safety standards whenever necessary, to invest in the welfare of personnel, and to ensure that no lesson from this tragedy will ever be forgotten. Also a story that is also on the front page of a number of newspapers this morning. Now, this is a thing for me. I mean, I'm excited that the president will make a speech like this and will make these comments. But sadly, we know why these individuals passed. They were on their way to somewhere in Obuasi as part of, issues to do with community mining, and to ensure that we go about mining the right way and to move away from Galamsey. Essentially, that was the whole idea. Sadly, we lost them. But this is the thing, 1 year down the line. And there's a very touching story here, and I'm going to be, adding that to what I read before I even share my thoughts on the story in the newspaper. The story is on page 6 of this paper in a speech made by the widow of the late Deputy Director General of NADMO, Samuel Abwaji, who has called on Ghanaians and authorities to intensify the fight against illegal mining, saying that decisive action against Galamsey will be the greatest tribute to the 8 people who died in last year's military helicopter crash. Mrs. Abigail Abwaji made the call during the service yesterday. According to her, the departed officials were committed to protecting Ghana and serving its people, and their memory must be honored through practical efforts rather than only ceremonies and speeches. Quote, Samuel died on his way to fight that is not yet finished. The rivers he was going to defend are still being poisoned. The land is still bleeding, she said. The truest tribute we can pay these 8 is not a speech. It is to finish their work. Please, do not let this be the last year we remember them, Mrs. Abwaji said. And again, the story goes on and on and on. And yesterday, when I saw a video, was this, I was touched. I was very sad. I was very sad for a reason. I've seen all the various organizations linked to the Ministry of Lands, Forestry and Mines are doing. It would be very unfair to say they are doing nothing about dealing with the Galamsey fights. But it would also not be overblowing it when we also use our platform to inform Ghanaians that in as much as the fight against Galamsey is ongoing, it still appears for whatever reason that we're battling this. Of course, I'm not expecting that the Galamsey will be eroded in 1.5 years under this current administration on the back of the experiences that we had for 8 years and more under previous administrations. And let's not make it look like it was only something that was happening under the NPP. It started years back. It's only that it went on a crazy level in the 8 years of the previous administration. But this is the thing. In areas where we are even told that the Galamsey is being fought, in areas where we're told that all kinds of mechanisms have been put in place to deal with Galamsey, the water is still cocoa drink. Yes, the water is still cocoa drink. I move around, and I know that you, my cherished listener, some of you also do a lot of movements around. I mean, we come from a part of the world where it's almost impossible to get stuck in one location. You are either on the move for family reasons, you are on the move for work, you're on the move because you've been invited somewhere, you're on the move because you're going for a funeral. Today being a Friday, tomorrow being a Saturday, a lot of people are going to be traveling to several parts of this country for one program or the other. So we move. And when we move, these things are visible. These are not things that can be hidden. So because these are not things that can be hidden, we see it with our two eyes. If you use Accra, if you use Accra Kumasi stretch, you don't need anyone to tell you unless you are blind and you can't see for yourself. When you get to Osino, the junction at Enyinem, you don't need to be told. After you go past Linda door, the water is still cocoa drink. It is still cocoa drink. My Achim family, friends, and other people I know who are from that enclave would always have the saying with them. Achenkwana na onum bremu. That's what they used to say years ago. Today I know people who say Achenkwana na onum pure water. Because nobody drinks from the Birim anymore. You dare not. It's been polluted. And sadly, when you go to the whole of that enclave, and that enclave, it's pretty much the areas to do with Ibuakwa South, Ibuakwa North. You're looking at Fantiakwa North and South. And then you are looking at Itiwa East and West. In the 6 particular areas. And then probably when you go down there and you go all the way to Kedi, it is going on live and colored. It's not black and white. It is going on live and colored. Go there. You see it for yourself. Yesterday, someone sent us a message of his experience at Osino. As for that place, it looks like there is no law and order there. I went there last year. Early this year, I was there. It is going on live. In all of these areas, the 7 areas that I mentioned, they all have MCs. They all have assemblymen. They all have DC, some of them, because some of them are districts, some of them are municipals. They all have members of parliament, very notable ones as such. They all have national security coordinators working there. They all have district police commanders working there, who report to regional police commanders. They all have regional ministers. Of course, all of these areas are in the eastern region, so all of them would report to the eastern regional minister. What is being done about it? As for Western North, they live in their own world. The northern part of Western region, same. It's as if there is no law and order. As for my region, well, it depends on where you go. If you go to anywhere from Manson Kwanta all the way through Fomena, down there, to Duncan, nothing, it's happening there live. But we say we are fighting it. So what exactly are we fighting? What exactly? With the greatest of respect. With the greatest of respect to the aides who passed. And their families. You tell them you are working. Yes, you are working. But like my former bosses would always tell me, Kwame, it's not about effort. If you go to a lot of organizations all over the world, people claim to work. but they have nothing to show for. And sometimes that's what you feel in the case of Ghana. There are people who claim they are working, but where is the result to show for that work? Nobody is saying they are not working. Naimos, the minister, our Consdep, whoever. We see their programs, we see their plans, they are here. We speak to them. At least we've been engaging Pakwesi Shandoff. We've been engaging my brother Kabori. We've been engaging Afo, who speaks for our Consdep. We've been engaging Madam Mausi. All of them, we've been engaging them on this platform. So how is it that in some communities, it's like they have thrown caution to the wind? It's like they do what they like. How? And I'm not aware of anybody being fired. I'm not aware of anybody being sacked. Maybe the president has to go on that tangent and it would get people to work. And we still appear not to care about the repercussions of our actions. We still do not appear to care. We still do not care that we are contaminating all of these water bodies with chemicals. And then we have to spend a lot of money to purify all of these water bodies. We still do not care that people are consuming the water and getting infected with all kinds of diseases. And people are spending a lot of money to take care of themselves. We still do not care. We still do not care that we are affecting the land so much that in these areas, pretty much known for cocoa growing, in these communities, cocoa no, ebuakem. We still do not appear to care. So yes, just like Mr. Abuaje's wife said, it's not just about the speeches. As for the speeches we can give, brofo, we speak English like no one else. But it's not about the English, respectively. It's not about the English. It's about the work on the ground. The politicians, you know this better. You keep on telling us that the job day grounds. So let's go to the grounds and get the job done. Anyway, let me move on from these Galamsey issues and focus on issues concerning the WAEC. Yesterday it was interesting having the president of the National Private School Associations in the studio with us. And of course, that of the head of public relations for WAEC, John Kapi, also speak to these issues. Well, they all have a thing to say concerning this. And I'm sure as many of us whose kids, nephews, nieces, children, guardians, whatever you want to call it, depending on the performance of your ward in the BC exam, if your child did very well, you probably, okay, normal level. But if your child did not get the best of results and possibly maybe at this point struggling to get the best schools, then maybe it gets a lot tougher at those points. But I can understand the concerns of the private school. But this is the thing for me, and I posed those questions to Nana Jitia when he visited us yesterday. All of these years, they've not been complaining. Why now? WAEC is also making it very clear that still the same people. They have conversations about the marking scheme and the structure and all of that, and the papers are marked. And the result is the result. It is what it is. Because although the private schools are complaining, I know some private schools whose kids did very, very well in the just ended BC exam. At least I can talk for the school my kids attend, Faith Kids School in Taifa. The worst grade was an aggregate 10. They presented 21 kids for the BC, and they had a number of 6-1s, a number of 7-1s, a number of 8-1s, 5-1s, 4-1s, name them. So maybe it's not as widespread as it has been. It's been made to look like by the private schools. But hey, it is what it is. I'm sure the conversations will go on for some time. But for the kids who have successfully passed, I would want to believe that they'll be very lucky to go to the schools that they want. If for any reason you may not get to go to the school of your choice, well, I'm sure there'll still be a school there somewhere for you. It's just that people would want to go to particular schools. I understand. Yes, people would want to go to particular schools. But hey, it is what it is. Not everybody can go to the so-called A-list schools. Not everybody can go to an Accra Cow or a Motown or an Infant Payment or Disadel, Wesley Girls, Holy Child, St. Rose's, St. Peter's. Not everybody can go there. I mean, if you have over 500,000 students writing the BC, these schools can only admit plus or minus 1,500, 2,000 at a time. So whether you like it or not, some would have to go to B list graded schools, C list graded schools, D list graded schools, and obviously your results would also matter. I mean, if you are getting a certain kind of aggregate, it is what it is. You can't go to a certain kind of school. I mean, let's be very clear about that. You do well, you go to the school of a certain standing. I mean, all over the world, no two schools are the same. I always laugh, to be honest, when I hear people saying we should make all the schools. It cannot be the same. Go to them, even the most advanced countries, it cannot be the same. Going to Oxford and going to Cambridge and going to University of South London is not the same. The requirements for you to qualify for Harvard and Oxford or to go to an Ivy League school in the US is not the same as going to the University of South Oklahoma. It's not the same. So it can't be the same. You need to perform. It is what it is. There are standards everywhere and you need to perform. I want to look at the story on the page number 7 of the Informer newspaper to do with Ghana's inflation falling to 4.6% as food prices continue to ease. The story has been going back and forth on the back of what people say when you engage them. Now, Ghana's year-on-year inflation rate declined further to 4.6% in July 2026, down from 5.3% in June, as easing food prices continue to drive down overall consumer growth. Now, the latest consumer price index data released by the Ghana Statistical Service shows an inflation fell by 0.7 percentage points from the previous month and by 7.5 percentage points from 12.1% as recorded during this period as of last year. Now, government statistician Dr. Alhassan Idrisu said that while prices continue to increase, they are doing so at a much slower pace than a year ago, reflecting continued moderation in inflationary measures. On a month-on-month basis, inflation slowed further to 0.1% in July from 0.2% in June, suggesting consumer prices were almost unchanged during that period. And they've gone ahead to list a few products with respect to the story on page 7 of the Informer newspaper. Among the products recording the biggest price declines within this period, they name Garden Eggs from 41.2% to 34.5%, maize 32.9%, pawpaw 26.8%, millets at 26.4%, guinea corn or sorghum at 22.3%, beans at 20.6%, lime at 19.8%, local rice at 16.0%, and bambara beans at 15.7%, and it goes on and on and on. Interestingly, despite all of this about the food conversation, they've also brought in the indicators of a few things that we can do away with in this country. There's that for rents, which appears to have fallen by 13%. Fresh tomatoes by 11.9%, ginger at 11.8%, cooked rice at 8.9%, river fish, what is river fish? At 6.2%, charcoal BD at 6.1%, public and private senior high school fees at 5.4%, bus and trotro fares at 5.4%, hotel accommodation at 3.8%, and electricity at 3.7%. Hey, is it the reality on the ground? In Ghana Statistical Service, or well, I don't know where they are getting this data from. But rent is not. It's not a fixed thing. And yesterday we had a conversation with the commercial director of Casa Properties on this platform, and he gave us a lecture on rents. I mean, depending on where you live, it does not appear to me that rents have gone down like that, though. In my area, At least I have a few friends who have gone to rent a place or two, and compared to what I knew, a cost kakra. A few CDs have been added. If you want to get an average 2 bedroom in my community, and that is an average, emphasis on average. There are a lot of considerations in my area. For example, one of the things that affects pricing of rent is the building, the size of the rooms, and how new or old the property is. So if the property has been around for years, chances are that you may get it relatively lower. But if it's a new building that has been constructed, the prices are not cheap like that too. Only last month I had a friend of mine who went in for a 2 bedroom. If you are familiar with Taifa Burkina, and paid 2k for a 2 bedroom for a month. So that's 24,000 a year. I remember that's what he tells me he paid. But I also do understand that in other areas, it could be higher or it could be lower, depending on all kinds of factors. So if you want to get, let's say, a 2 bedroom around Trasaco, you're not going to be paying 2,000. You know that. If you want to get a 2 bedroom around a place like Dansoman, maybe a little higher, maybe a little lower, depending on all of the factors that I mentioned. If you want a place like Kaswa, Agbawi, Weja, Blekuma, Achimota, Tesano, they come with a lot of conversation. So I don't know where these figures are coming from with respect to the Ghana Statistical Service. Fresh tomatoes. Well, I like tomatoes, so I buy tomatoes very often. It looks like, depending on the market that you buy, I normally would buy from dummy markets because I get it relatively cheaper there. If you buy it from the market in your community, I tell you, it's not the same as going to a bigger market to go and buy, because these markets are the smaller markets would go to the bigger markets, go and buy, and come and retail. So if you are buying in, let's say, your community markets in a relatively smaller area, I can guarantee you the price will not be the same, because obviously the trader would have added transport cost and all of these things to the price. One of the conversations that I heard a lot last month was the price of ginger. It was all over social media. These days a lot of people are getting ginger in their food. Everybody wants good health, and ginger appears to do a lot of magic for people. So I'm told that because of demand, prices shot up. As to whether it's stable, well, what I buy for 10 cedis in my area, to be honest, is not much. To be honest, it's not much. So I end up buying maybe 20 cedis sometimes, maybe 30 cedis sometimes even more, and then I keep them. So maybe if you buy more, then you get it relatively cheaper. If you buy 10 cedis, 20 cedis, then probably it would not make much of a difference. What strikes me again is the public and private senior high school fees. But in the public, we are not paying school fees, or we may pay some ancillary fees. Are we paying school fees there? But we are being told it's reduced to around 5.4%. Okay. Now the bus and the trotro fares is also a very interesting one. Because the trotro drivers are killing a lot of people, and we've had those conversations on this platform a number of times. So, for example, if you want to do, let's say, Amasaman or Pukwase to Accra Central, I think it's about 7 or 8 cities. But the possibility that you are going to get a straight car from Pukwase or Amasaman all the way to Accra Central in the last 1 to 2 years is close to zero now. I mean, what the drivers are doing, and we all know, unless we want to pretend and act like ostriches, we all know what the drivers are doing on these stretches. If you are moving from that side, if you are starting at Amasamai or so, sometimes if you are starting from as far back as in Sawam, you hear the driver loading Amasamai, Pukwase. By the time you get to Pukwase, they are loading, or Amasamai, they are doing barrier. When you get to barrier, they are doing Achimota. When you get to Achimota, they are doing circle. When you get to circle, they are doing Accra. We know this. So instead of paying about 7 or 8 cedis, you could possibly end up paying about 20 Ghana. And it's like that on a lot of the major streets. And the major streets in Accra are not many. I keep saying that. If you know the geography of the Greater Accra region, it's pretty much just about 5 of them. You are coming from Nsawam all the way to Accra Central, and that's happening on the road. Or you are coming from anywhere in the central region, or from Kaswa all the way to Accra. And I hear they are also doing the same thing there. So you pick a car at Kaswa or any of those communities, and some of them are doing Malam Junction, Malam Junction, Malam Junction. You get to Malam Junction, they are doing Kanishi, Kanishi, Kanishi. You get to Kanishi, and then they are doing Accra or Circle from there. So you bought the same car and you could pay about 3 fares. Or you are coming from Tema side. And I hear these days some of them are loading because there is a new trotro station that appears to be developing around the Calvary Baptist area, around the Accra malls area there. So they are loading Shiashi. You are coming from Tema or any of those areas, and then you get to Shiashi too. Then you have to pick a second car or sometimes even a third car. Or you are coming from Dodowa area or Aimensa area, and they are loading Adenta. You get to Adenta, and then they are loading Madina. You get to Madina, they are loading Shiashi. You get to Shiashi. Some of them are even loading 37. And then from 37 before they are loading to Circle or Accra or Kanishi. So I don't know what the basis for this is. I don't remember. I haven't slept in a hotel in Ghana in a while. So the 3.8% for hotel. Those of you who do businesses with hotels, maybe you would be familiar with the figures. But electricity, 3.7%. Again, it's an interesting stats. But the last time I checked, I thought electricity prices had gone up a bit. Of course, it depends on what you're using. Some people are still using postpaid, and some are still using prepaid. So, if you have a lot of gadgets in your house, I guess that ultimately determines the pricing. Never mind the 1% or 2% that a PURC comes with every now and then. If your house is like a factory with all kinds of gadgets, then you are likely to pay more. It is what it is. I mean, that's how I look at some of these things. But I'm sure everyone has their own opinions about these reports every now and then when they are released. Because depending on who you speak to, some say it reflects, some too say it is not reflecting. There was a very interesting one there with the cooked rice. Yeah, a lot of people still buy food from outside. I think you can buy rice 10 cedis. At least in my area, you can buy wachi 10 cedis. So I think you can do plain rice and jollof to 10 cedis. At least my area has a fair bit of people who sell food and rice, wachi, jollof, yam, and those things. 10 cedis, you should be able to buy something. As to whether it's enough, that one too is another story, because you're obviously not going to be buying only the plain rice. You buy maybe some meats or some egg, or if you're doing wachi, you buy some macaroni or gari or some salad, something. I mean, the combo is up to you, but so maybe plus or minus you need about 20 cedis, plus or minus, not to talk of pure water. So maybe some coins in there as well, and then you can get a good meal. But this is the thing, are people eating 3 times a day in Ghana? I don't remember the last time I ate 3 times a day in Ghana, to be honest. Because if you're doing average food consumption and you're even doing cocoa in the morning, my stretch is 4 cedis. Unless you want to buy the other things, you want to buy kose, or you want to buy bread, or you want to buy buffaloes, then that one is up to you. So plus or minus, you can do 10 cedis, 15 cedis for cocoa and kose or buffaloes or something. Lunch, you might get a beans, wachi, rice, 15 cedis, 20 cedis maybe. Dinner, even if you are doing basic of kinky, well, in my area it is 5 and 6 cedis. I don't know about where you live. So 5, 6, 7 cedis, but you may have to buy fish. Fish in my area 10, 15, 20, 25. So again, that one too is up to you. So maybe you need another 20 cedis there. So if you're spending about 50 cedis on food, if you are eating 3 times a day, 30 days is about 1,500. And there are people who are earning 600 cedis. The petrol station attendants and the attendants at the malls and places like that. Some of them are earning 700, 800 cedis. And they use some of that same money for transport. I don't know how they do it. Those of you who live on wages of less than 1,000 Ghana cedi and you still have to eat 2 or 3 times a day, and your transport is also part of it, I don't know how you do it. But May the Lord see you through. That's all I can say. I don't know how you do it. I mean, think about it. Just think about it. If you are earning even 3,000 in Ghana today, and you even have one child or two children, you would have to be a magician, because the children are paying feeding fee. Now they are even on vacation, so at least you can cook for them at home. But if you are going to school, feeding fee, and then you have to pay for eraser and sharpener and exercise book and all the things that they are demanding, especially if your child is in a private school these days, all the things that they are demanding every day. Wasumbeya she brutal. And so hey, school fees, September they will be collecting school fees. So your August pay is pretty much tied to the school fees for September. Pretty much. Charlie, I don't know how people do it in this country. I'm being very honest with you. I don't. I mean, one of these days we need to have a full conversation about this. I don't know how people do it in this country. Transport, health, feeding, family. And the worst part is the miscellaneous things you have not planned for. So your auntie's father's sister's daughter's niece has just given birth, or there's a wedding. You can't say you won't go. Hey, you won't go saying. And when you show up to, at least, oh, uncle has come. Your nephews are there. You have to show level. Good morning to my brother Eben. You have to show level. Your nephews are there. They see you. Rich uncle, a rich auntie. Especially for people like us who are on radio and television, they think we have the keys to the central bank. The moment they see you, uncle, I want toffee. Uncle, I want this. Uncle, I want this. You can't go and say you don't have. You can't tell the children you don't have money. So you don't plan for these things. You go there. By the time you leave, now. Oh God, have mercy. And then there's a wedding. There's a naming ceremony. And sadly, sometimes there's a funeral. And then you have to do family contributions. Charlie. The other day, on my family page with my cousins, we were planning something for our grandmother, 25 years after her passing, and we're planning something, and it was very interesting. Like, and these things happen to a lot of families in Ghana. Things that at the start of the year or at the beginning of the month you are not looking at, but it is what it is. You need to face it and manage it. May the good Lord, may the good Lord see us through. That's all I can say. May the good Lord see us through. Let me wrap up the newspaper conversations with the story on the front pages of virtually every newspaper today. The bit about the demonstration being under attack. And that story appears to have found its way to practically every newspaper. So let me read what the points was able to capture with respect to the demo yesterday. Now, organizers of the New Patriotic Party yesterday held a demonstration dubbed the Democracy Under Attack, and petitioned the Supreme Court and the presidency, accusing government of political persecution, selective justice, and misuse of state institutions. The protest, led by the minority leader in Parliament, the Honorable Alexander Dwomoh-agyemang, ended on Thursday with a presentation of a petition to the presidency at the Jubilee House in Accra, after demonstrations earlier submitted a separate petition to the Supreme Court. The MPP said that the nationwide campaign was aimed at drawing attention to what it describes as growing threats to Ghana's democratic governance, including concerns over the rule of law, judicial independence, and public confidence in state institutions. Addressing supporters and party execs, Mr. Dwomoh-agyemang said the demonstration was a call for accountability and protection of Ghana's democratic values. According to the party, recent developments within the justice system and state institutions point to a pattern of actions that undermine fairness and equal treatment under the law. Among the issues highlighted in the petition were the acquittal and discharge of former Maslok boss Madam Sedina Tamaklu, the removal of former Chief Justice Gertrude Arba Isaba Tokonu, and the 20-year sentence imposed on the NPP Ashanti Regional Chairman Bernard entry Bosiako. And the story goes on and on and on. Well, it is within their rights to go on a demonstration, I guess. It is within their rights. I mean, they cannot be stopped from going on a demonstration. I guess people would have concerns about timing and the issues that were raised there. The timing, obviously, on the back of what yesterday was supposed to be. I had my concerns. I mean, we are Ghanaians and we are very emotional about some things. They could have done it today. That's my opinion. I'm not telling them what to do. They could have done it today. They could have done it tomorrow. They could have done it on Monday. They could have done it on Tuesday. And at least give honor to who honor is due. And at least immortalize our eight gentlemen who passed a year ago. I mean, it wouldn't have spoilt anything. But that's my opinion. Whether they discuss that internally, I don't know. But they choose to go with that. So, yeah, it is within their constitutional rights. But like I said, you may also disagree with the issues that they raise. For example, let's say they mention Chairman Woon to me. On the back of what we know from courts, the law is the law. Maximum sentence was 25 years. Someone would even say he was lucky to get 20 and not 25. What if he had gotten 25? The issues about Madame Tokonu, I mean, this case has gone back and forth for maybe about a year. It's pretty much done and dusted. Why would they bring this up now? We have a Chief Justice who is even serving already, and NPP had the opportunity to raise all of these concerns in the past. I don't know why they are bringing that up again, unfortunately. And all the other issues that they raised concerning Madame Sedina Tamaklo and all of that. Again, these issues were raised in courts, and the court decided. They say that you can disagree with the ruling of the courts, but it is what it is. It's done. So maybe we move on with our lives. Well, I guess this is where we draw the curtains on the newspapers. Obviously, there are loads of stories in there. So what you have to do will be to grab a copy. It looks like the stories are pretty much simultaneous on all of these platforms. WAEC, Demo, virtually on the front page of every newspaper. So grab a copy of all of these newspapers and read extensively. There's some wonderful people who were born on this day. If today happens to be your birthday, or if you know someone who is celebrating his or her birthday today, let us know on WhatsApp number 0500,000 202 0500,000 202. I want to take the opportunity to say happy birthday to them. Former Ghanaian star Gordon Atram is celebrating birthday number 46 today. He was born on this day in 1980. Played for the U17, played for U23, played for the Black Stars. and he's celebrating his birthday this day. Let me take the opportunity to say happy birthday to Godwin Atram as he celebrates this one. This one is sad because he was buried only a few days ago. George Blay, former U20 star, he would have been 46 today. Sadly, he lost his life and was buried a couple of weeks ago. He would have been 46 today. Ghanaian boxer Usman Wakaba is also celebrating birthday number 46 today. Happy birthday to him. Abazi Nusa is celebrating birthday number 44 today. Happy birthday to him as well. Let me also take the opportunity to celebrate a number of friends who were born on this day. To you, Prince Kwame Dwomoh-agyemang, you're celebrating your birthday today. Happy birthday to you. Mr. Edward Sefa, you're also celebrating your birthday today. Happy birthday to you. Papa Igwe, my mate from the University of Ghana, you're celebrating your birthday today. Happy birthday to you. Mr. Thomas Mensah, you're also celebrating your birthday today. Happy birthday to you. Mr. Emmanuel Asari, you're celebrating your birthday today. Happy birthday to you. My former colleague in a number of media organizations, Joel Champong, these days you are with GH Media. You're celebrating your birthday today. Happy birthday to you as well. Let me probably save the best for today, and forgive me, the best for today for some wonderful people. I want to use the opportunity to celebrate them and celebrate them with everything in me, because these are people I love and these are people I cherish very much. First off, I want to start the celebrations to my little sister, Mrs. Ajwa Pra of of Kids Paradise School. You're celebrating your birthday today. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you, Mrs. Ajwa Pra of Kids Paradise School. Today is a wonderful day for you, and I can't stop celebrating you. Ajwa, I miss you. You know that. I've not seen you in a while. I've not been a good big brother, but forgive me. Happy birthday to you, Mrs. Ajwa Pra, as you celebrate another +1. Beautiful woman. And we would celebrate you. I'm sure Irama, Nana, Kwabna, mom and dad will make it huge for you. And of course, Mr. Pra would also top up. My in-law would also top up for you on this very special day. So happy birthday to you, Mrs. Ajwa Pra, as you celebrate this one. And let me also say happy birthday to my own daughter. Yes, she's celebrating her birthday this morning. This morning when I was leaving home, she was sleeping. Yeah, Charlie, school is on vacation. It doesn't come any better. She's still going for vacation classes though. So I'm sure she's probably set off by now. Happy birthday to you, my dear little daughter. Akosia Dwomoh-agyemang, you're celebrating your birthday this morning. All I pray for you is wisdom. All I pray for you is knowledge and good health to navigate your way through life as you age and as you grow to that beautiful young woman you're becoming. I pray for the Lord's blessings for you. I pray the Lord will protect you, keep you, and bless you. Stay away from anything that would bring about any challenge as you grow. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you, my lovely daughter. And she's my first fruit as well. So just give me some time to celebrate my little daughter on this day. I could say a happy birthday to you, and today I'll try to be home early, so that I can celebrate you and get you whatever you want on this day. This is Class 91.3, and this is a piece of my mind, which is a segment of the show where I share my thoughts on a subject or more, and also give you an opportunity for you to share your thoughts. And today being a Friday as well, we'll tie that in with Community Watch. If there is any particular issue within your community that you want us to know, we pass it on to the authorities, we follow up. You can also let us know on 0500,000 202, 0500,000 202, or you can call us when the phone lines are activated on 0302 208080, 0302 208080, or find us on our socials or streaming live on Facebook. The number remains Class 913 on Facebook there, and then we'll take the conversations going for it. Anyway, I'm going to be focusing on the. I'm going to be focusing on issues concerning the program that was held yesterday to commemorate the passing. Davisana, good morning. I've seen your message. Yes, we are commemorating the passing of our departed siblings. It was a slip. Forgive me, Davisana. Forgive me. That's why you are my teacher. My teacher, my mother, my auntie, grandma, everything. Davisana is my everything, and I love her. Thank you very much. I reiterated those points, so I'll be very brief about it, and then I'll activate the phone lines for you to call and share your thoughts with me. Yesterday was a solemn one. I saw the videos. I followed the program. I saw the pictures. I saw who was there. It was very sad. I can't find any other word. Painful. I mean, you can put all you want there. To see the mother of Dr. Kwame Dwomoh, his wife, and I think I saw one of his children as well. It was tough. Very tough. I am told that Dr. Kwame Dwomoh was the only son of the mom. I am sure, I don't know about other tribes, but in my tribe, since I was a child, I have been hearing this. I don't know why it is like that, but I hear that all the time. I hear people say it is only proper that your children bury you and not the other way around. I don't know whether it's supposed to be proverbial or one of those sayings. I don't know. So to lose your only child like that and to live with that for the rest of your life, I am sure she will take solace from seeing her grandchildren every now and then. Because grandmas and their grandchildren there, I mean, we all know they don't play with us. But the pain would live with her for a very long time until she probably also passes, or when Jesus comes. Same with the wife. Same with all the other family members of the other 7, and we know them. But that point raised by the wife of Mr. Abuaje is very poignant. We shouldn't be celebrating this with speeches. We should be celebrating this with action. Let's get to work. Yesterday, I engaged some senior officials of our Comstep. And why all of these initiatives? It's 1 year now. Why all of these initiatives? have not found their level. They had a lot to say. I'll be bringing you those exclusive interviews on Monday. Why all of that have not been experienced. And they had a lot to say. But the evidence also does not lie. Mr. Amakufibua is doing his best. I'm sure that's what the officials would say. Naimos are doing their best. Everyone in that space, I'm sure everyone is saying they are doing their best. But like I said earlier, effort is not enough. It is about results. So it is very frustrating when you still see, it is not like, you see, when the Galamsey has stopped and you are trying to reclaim some land and you reclaim, let's say, about 50%, and you are working to reclaim the other 50, then you know you are making some progress. But when I still go around, when I hear that we are working very hard to deal with the Galamsey menace, and I'm still seeing all of these excavators around, then I'm asking myself a very simple question. An excavator is not like a mobile phone. It will go through the streets. Yesterday, Mullah Umar called and said something. He lives at Tema, and I'm sure he works around the port area. And he still sees all of these excavators leaving the port. And we see the excavators on the main roads. And they are going to all of these areas. And they are not going to be used for the construction of a road. So what are they going to use them for? And then we see the pictures of these excavators in these areas that we say we are fighting hard to stop Galamsey. What are we doing? Are we not just laughing? Are we not just tickling ourselves and laughing? The area you say you are working very hard to deal with the menace. Every now and then you are seeing an excavator there. So how are we fighting this? The other day when Hajia called and people were lambasting her, I remember that day very well. A woman called and said, I went to the school at Ona and it was at the Pedra area also, and it was happening live. So who is doing it there? Just behind the girls' dormitory. So it is an open place. Everybody sees it. It didn't start 2 years ago. It is happening. There's a headmaster. There's an assemblyman. There's an MC. There's an MP. There's a regional minister. They don't know. The picture Erastu shared only yesterday that I mentioned, behind the Apostolic Church at Apedra, it is happening live and colored. Nobody is seeing it. So when you see things like this, then you ask questions. Are we really fighting this? Are we really fighting this? I mentioned earlier on, that's for Western North, they are on their own. It's like they are not in Ghana. They are doing what they like. From the pictures and videos I see from that area almost every day. People send me the videos and I'm tired. I've even stopped sharing them. It's like they are living in their own world. So when you say you are fighting, you want to see the evidence of that. You want to see a certain level of progress being made. So for example, we hear that the excavators are going to be tracked and all of that. And we are still seeing the excavators. So who is tracking it? So if people are collecting bribes and all of that. So for example, if I go to Apedra and I see the excavator there, I'm going to ask a very simple question. How long has the excavator been there? If you tell me it's been there for 2 months, I'll ask the assemblyman, 2 months ago the excavator was not here. How did they get there? Are you aware it's here? I'll call the MC. As for the assemblyman, he was voted for, so you can't fire him. The MC or the DC, 2 months ago it was not here. You are supposed to be the boss of that particular locality. How is it here? I'm sure by the time he speaks in about a minute or two, I would have fired him already, because here I can fire him if I'm President Mahama. And then maybe that will send a signal. But I'm not aware of anybody being fired. So the lady, Mrs. Abuaji, I think that's her name, she will be speaking with a lot of pain. If it wasn't for this, I'm sure her family members will say, Okohokra koyeding. And Uncle that's who two Galamsey. Yesterday, I saw something that was shared by Stan Dugbe, Deputy Chief of Staff. I think a conversation they had, he together with Madame Joyce Bauer and Omani Boama had on that in the morning. And apparently, Madame Bauer asked, hey, him or Dr. Kwame Dwomoh-agyemang, do you have to go? Do you like, as in, do you really have to go? Others are there. The regional minister is there. The minister is there. The other government officials there. Do you really have to go? And then he ended. I'm sure he was lost for words. He didn't even know what to write on Facebook again, so he stopped. Because I'm told they were very good friends, the three of them. Of course, we know what happened. Probably after the conversation. Because then he goes on to add that he had then gone for a program at Kempinski, only to hear the message. You don't want to say, like in my language, Omo Bregu. You don't want to say that. But I'm sure some of their family members will be saying that, Omo Bregu, because Galamse ni koso. I just hope that whatever programs that the Ministry of Lands, NIMOS, all of these other organizations in that space, whatever programs they have, I just hope it will work. I mean, that's all I can say. I just hope it will work, because in some areas, to be honest, it's like they are not bothered. I mean, that's, for want of a better word, in some areas it looks like they are not bothered. I can't find any other word. It looks like they are not bothered. Anyway, the phone lines have been activated. You can give me a call on 0302208080, 0302208080. Alternatively, you can send us a message on WhatsApp on 0500,000 202, 0500,000 202, or you can send us a message on our socials on Facebook. We're streaming live there. Look out for us, class 913. Yeah, just look out for us on Facebook. Look out for us and send us a message on our live stream over there. Once I see that, I'm going to be reading on those platforms. So you give us a call. I'm activating the phone lines now. 0302 208080, 0302 208080, or send me a message on WhatsApp on 0500,000 202, 0500,000 202. Oh, David Senna, thank you for the birthday wish to my daughter. Thank you. That's your grandchild. I'll bring her to you one of these days, so that you bless her for me, so that one day, just like you went through the emotions, and then you became a minister, and now you are a very powerful woman, MP, and all of that. She too, if it is the will of God, then she too, she would go through that trajectory, and she would get to serve like she's been serving all of us all of these years. Okay, let me take some of your messages that have come in at this point. This one says, okay, Francis, I hope you're not asking me to go on that tangent again. You say, hi Kwame, good morning. You say that you're not happy with journals. Okay, why are people not asking the MPP guys? Okay, you say, why are we not asking the MPP guys? I don't know what exactly you want us to ask them. You say, please, okay, now you come back. You say, please ask them if it were to be MPP that is in power, and what MPP is saying with issues regarding our justice system with the courts. Is the NDC saying that it is only the NPP that are saying what they are saying? Okay, Francis. Okay, I think I get the import of your message. Okay, thank you. This one is coming from Good Citizen. You say, good morning, class. This morning, my concern is specifically on the Black Queens and Buediwa. Okay, you say she keeps on wasting so many clear chances, and it's so heart-wrenching to watch. What happened to the likes of Mukarama and Ayam? What happened to their continuity? She wasted several chances when we played last year, and you say you hope that she doesn't do that again as we get to play Malawi later this weekend. Okay, maybe she just had a bad day at the office. Okay, this one is coming from Abdul from Sun City in Tema West. You say, good morning, Kwame. As for the salary and survival issues in Ghana, especially in Accra, it is by the grace of God and the mercies of Allah. As for these politicians and their hypocrisy, only God can purge us of it. Will any of them from either side ever support or disapprove anything that would make Ghana and Ghanaians better, if not their selfish and parochial interest? Abdul from Sun City, you send us one, and you go ahead to add that, Kwame, yesterday was the 1 year commemoration of the 8 heroes of our land. Okay, you are asking why it appears that a lot of the events were centered on only one of them. I honestly don't have an answer. But I get it. I get it, and I can understand. I get it because it looks like that's what I see in the media as well, with not maybe much being mentioned, but we commemorated that. So I respect it. I get this. Abdul from Sun City. Okay, you send those one. Okay, Goose. Okay, you say, good morning, class family. Trust you're well. May I ask that you wish Nashika Coleman of ECG a happy birthday via a cherished platform. She's a beautiful soul worth celebrating. And when the opportunity is granted, her amiable personality means she works so hard, and you say you want to celebrate her on this day. You've added her photo as well. So happy birthday to you, Madame Nashika Coleman of ECG, Electricity Company of Ghana, I believe. Okay. This one says, okay, Francis, you come back again and you say welcome back. Oh, I've been here since. You see, the indiscipline in our senior high schools and junior high schools is just a reflection of us parents by our failure to deal with our children at home daily. The sure way to curtail this is to make parents sign a bond, so the child go wayward in the senior high school. That parent is held responsible and made to pay for the penalty by going to jail for doing the wrong things. So the MPP, what they can do is not what the NDC did to them. Francis, I'm not too clear on this one. Okay. Okay, let me read Avicenna's message. Okay. Okay, congrats to your daughter and sweetheart on her birthday. Pray she grows up to be a great woman that you and your family are proud of. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You go ahead to add that Kwame, a voice clip of DVLA boss played this morning, indicated that new excavators imported are easily tracked to those brought in before the introduction of the new tracking system, adding that they are doing their best together with NIMOS. Yeah, Mom, yes, that has been the conversation, and I remember when the DVLA boss Julius Lugas was here. Must be a couple of months ago. We discussed that. What I find very strange about all of this is that you go to some of these communities, the stories that they share with you. You see, officially you would hear certain stories, but when you go to these communities and the locals also speak to you, sometimes you are amazed at what they say. And there are times where you don't know whether to believe the officials or whether you believe the locals. But the locals are the people who are there. And they are telling us, oh, this people came, or this man came, or this man came. And the person is not saying anything. Okay, let me read those one. Good morning, Kwame. The Gallants men just wasted their lives in vain. Nobody is fighting Galamsey. Okay, that's what you say. All right. I respect your thoughts as well. This one is coming from Kekusina Jusso Bisiasi. You see, the Supreme Leader and his overwhelming majority of MPs have their way in governance. Mahama and his men want to suppress what the minority wants to say. The NDC, notably Mahama-led party, have no knowledge about democracy. Okay. KKC, you sense those one. Okay, you can also keep your views and your comments coming on 0500,000 202 0500,000 202. This one says, I am Julius. Good morning. You say demand strict accountability. Push local authorities and the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources to enforce mining laws and prosecute offenders fairly, regardless of their status. Okay. Oh, Francis, I've read your message on the indiscipline. Oh, okay. Maybe at that time you had just maybe you're probably doing something else. Okay, let's get the conversations going. I told you earlier this morning that we're going to be having a conversation, tying that in with a bit of politics as well. It looks like things are hottening up in the NDC. Charlie, people are gunning for one position or the other. This morning, I do have Mr. Ken Natiezu Ken Nat Yezu. He wants to be the Ayaso West Wugon constituency chairman. His party is in power, so maybe it makes things very easy for him. Chairman, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
I'm told you are still the incumbent.
No, I'm not.
Oh, you want to Aluta the incumbent?
He's not going.
He's tired.
No, he have served like 3 terms. I think two terms.
He doesn't want to enjoy again.
No, it's okay. Yeah, he has an appointment now, so he want to leave the position for us also to come and continue.
This man, your party is in power. You want to go? He has suffered in opposition now to bring the party to power.
But now he's working. He has got an appointment, Deputy CEO, internal audit. So
when you're far.
I'm a you conference.
Anyway, don't mind me. So for those of you who are familiar with Ayaso West Wugon, and I've got a lot of friends there. I work there, I school there as well. I do a lot of things in that constituency. I'm not from that constituency. I school there. Okay. I'm doing something at Unimac. So it's within your constituency.
Yes, please.
I do something with Knutsford University. So it's within your constituency. I have a lot of friends in East Legon, Jingano, Shiashi. They live there, plenty.
You know the environment very well.
Oh, and I schooled at Legon too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I mean your area there.
Then you adopted Ayaso.
I tell you. I think there's no day that I don't go through your constituency.
Oh, okay.
It's almost impossible. If I don't use it when I'm coming to work, I use it when I'm going home. It's almost impossible not to go through that constituency.
That's the center of the most elite constituency. You have to go through.
You have to go through it. Maybe only Sundays, maybe. Okay. Even weekends, there are times I would have to pass through.
Areas
you
have to still come there.
Chairman, a lot of people say that the focus on that particular constituency has been around since for obvious reasons. I recall as far back as 1992 when the Honorable Ken Jirasa was a member of parliament for that area. Yes. And then when in 1996 the conflict between Madame Rebecca Adote and the MPP man, what's his name? The name is not coming. The MPP man. The case was in court for about 4 years.
By the time
the case was over, the term of Madame Adote too was over. And since that time, we've had the likes of Emmanuel Ejakun being MP, Madame Sarah Malasan. But it looks like over the years, the focus has been on what Mr. John Dumelo has done and how he has brought a certain level of attention to that constituency. Now, there's a constituency where you want to be the chairman. Tell us why.
Yes, I think now that our current chairman is not going, and then we need someone who can complement the work of our MP, Honorable John Dumelo, because he's really doing his best. He's trying. So we need someone who can also help and then push his agenda to retain our seats, because we still have to maintain this seat for the next maybe 30 years. So I think I'll be in the best position to help him maintain this the constituency and the seats. Well, I'm a businessman. I'm not working yet. Other contestants have some positions and they won't make time, because 2028.
You live in a constituency?
Yes, I live there.
You work there?
I do. I'm a businessman.
You move around?
Yes, I move around.
The area, like you said, is an elite constituency.
Yes.
All kinds of people live there. It's fairly developed. Lots of companies, lots of offices. Someone would say the everyday support and needs of the constituency is fairly met. So what would the chairman of the party do differently?
Not at all. The unemployment rate, the youth unemployment rate in Ayawaso is overwhelming.
Where is it?
It's serious.
All the bourgeoisies.
No. The companies are there and they are not employing our youths.
You've got to be qualified.
No, at least, Krampo, there should be a quota, even if it's cleaning, and the person can do. Because when you
are they pushing it, and they are not getting?
The problem is we have leadership deficit. Our leaders are not helping us, because we have more than 32 government institutions on our constitution, our constituency. Boss, Ghana Gas, Talu, MPA, Energy Commission, all of them. You see, it will take somebody who also go and lobby that these are our boys we used, who worked, suffered for the party to come to power.
Are you suggesting that the MP, the MC are not doing that?
The MP is doing his best. As for the MP there, I can't take that out from him. He's doing, but you see, he alone cannot do all. At least there should be somebody who is also looking the other side to complement what the MP is doing. That's the problem. Even if some of our youths don't have certificates, we can enroll them into this TVED or whatever, get certificates, and then push them to, even if the security service, they can qualify to go into it. But nobody, they only care about what they will get, what they will eat, the positions they will get. They don't care about the youth that we, when during election, we call out them, they go out, sacrifice their life, even others sacrifice their money to win us election. And we just neglect them. It's very bad.
Is this a conversation that comes up often, or it only appears to come up when elections are coming?
This problem has been there since. And I think if like would have taken initial steps of helping them, by now we've gotten somewhere. But nobody cares about them. They only want to use them during election. And after election they find some 200 cities for them, and that's all. How long are they going to live on that 200 cities?
Employment is not only limited to your constituency. It's a nationwide thing. I mean, I'm sure every constituency has somebody or a number of people who, for one reason or the other, may not be employed. It's not that easy, or it doesn't appear to be that easy getting a job. You talk about people even getting jobs at the low end, not at manager or something like that, even at the low end. But what incentives may also be provided for, let's say, company A or company B to decide that, okay, maybe we can get a few people there to come and do a thing or two?
Most of these companies, they do recruitment almost every year. They do recruitment. You will be there, you hear that there's recruitment, before you realize they bring people from outside the constituency to come and work. We also have to lobby for our people to also be employed, those who are qualified. And even, you see, all of us cannot do a white-collar job. Some may like to go into business. Some may like to learn a trade. There should be some policies to help our youth, build them. Because these are the people that when we need them during election, they come out. So if the people are okay, they are working, they wouldn't even be coming to you to demand money from you. Because at least you've been able to help them secure something. If those who want to learn trade, you've put them through, and now they are doing something for themselves. Those who want to do business, you have been able to lobby and create some business environments for them to also do something to earn a living. There won't be much pressure on you. And anytime you call the party, they can also contribute to support the party. But if we don't do that, and we say, oh, they are not qualified, how do they get qualified when we don't go take them through training? That's the problem.
Beyond unemployment and you looking at assisting or helping young people to get other opportunities, what other key indicators are you looking at for the delegates of your party to decide that you are the man?
One thing I've realized that most of our aged men and women in our constituency have nothing to do. And
when you say they have nothing to do, what do you mean?
They've toiled, suffered for the party, and now they are old. They are still serving the party, and there's nothing in for them. Some of them is not for themselves. They are looking for a way for their children. At times, someone will get sick, and we will have platforms. We have to do contribution to support the person. It doesn't encourage people also to join the party. At least if somebody have suffered for the party, worked with the party for years, and the person is sick, there should be some fund there to support that person. And it will encourage their children to know, when my dad was sick, the party was there. They came in for last was it last 2 weeks or 3 weeks? I went to East Legon ward, and there was a ward meeting, and one of the chairmen is sick. Where he works, he had been sacked to come home because he cannot work, and he need 15,000 to do surgery. For months now, no one is helping. For months. You see, these are the things. It's very painful that you work, even as he is sick, he's still working. When we call for meeting, you see him there. And we cannot, as a council, even lobby somebody to take care of this person. That this is our man. He has worked for the party. Let's do something that even his children will say that, when my dad was sick, the party did this. The party was able to take care of him. The MP cannot do everything. The burden on him is huge. Even when I took the bold step that I'll contest, if I tell you the pressure on me, people calling me with issues, problems.
It looks like that's pretty much the norm these days. So that if you get to serve as a party leader in any way or form, it's pretty much a case of people then looking up to you for a certain level of assistance that you may not even be in a position to provide.
Yeah, because there's no structures in place for those things. Because if somebody join an organization, the person is joined that maybe he or she will benefit from it. So if the person worked and feel that after all these years I can't even have something to feed on, or I don't have anything to show off, then I'll come to you. You that I work for you, you that I voted for you, I'll come to you for the money.
Believing in the vision and the ideals of a political party, you are hoping that if your party ends up in office, whatever policies that they will put in place, those are the policies that all of us will benefit from. If everybody who supports, let's say, NDC in Ayaso West Ugon, and the last results, your votes were over 30,000.
Yes.
You can't help all those 30,000 people.
True.
Because they love the party, because they work for the party, or because they supported the party to come to you. You can't help all the 30,000. What you can do is to put in some policies that would inure to the benefit of the 30,000 or the 60,000 or the 100,000. So it's impossible to help everybody.
No, you can't help everybody. That's what I'm saying, that the MP is doing his part. And those that we claim they don't have certificates, we can put them through TVET. Let them go training.
They have to be interested in that.
No, most of them they have the interest, but who is going to help them? Nobody. If they have something to do with their fingers and they can go out and look for job even themselves, they have something to show up. They can even go out and look for job themselves. But now they don't have certificate and nobody is ready to help them get it. Those who have certificate too are not getting the job. Those who want to do business, there's no opportunity for them. These are women who want to sell small tabletop. They are not getting the support.
Where would you get the money to support them?
Yes, that is what I'm saying. It's through lobbying. You need to lobby. There's mass lock. You need to get some of our members. They don't even know how to apply for mass lock. They don't even know. So if there's training and orientation telling them that this is the process, you have to do this, do that, then it also encourages them that so that this opportunity, the burden will be off you, and they to rather go to where they think they can get help from. But they are just there. Nobody is ready to help them.
You're running a delegate system.
Yes.
How many people are voting in your constituency?
For the constituency, it's about 2,440.
That's a crazy number.
Yes.
And you need just over 50% of that.
Yes.
We hear the challenges beyond your message that would make somebody decide, or a party executive decide, and I'm sure you know what I mean, decide on why they should vote for you or not. Why has it become a little difficult, or why has it become so challenging that when it comes to leadership at the party level, the focus is not on what Mr. Yezu can do, but the focus is on other things, and you know what I mean?
Yes, that's our problem. This party is becoming too money conscious.
Why is it like that? You are there. I'm sure you've been with the party for years. It wasn't always like that. What changed?
Because some of them, they realize that they vote for you, you get the power, and you don't mind them. The promises you make to them, you don't fulfill, and they are still the same. So if I'll take money from you and vote for you. That's the problem. But if we are able to meet at least 50% of their demands, or even 30, to help them a certain level, when you are coming again, they won't ask you for money, because at least you have shown the person how to fish. And now he's becoming the highest bidder.
If you need even 50%, I'm just doing some simple maths. You said 2,440.
Yes.
That means that you need 1,221 people, at least 50 plus 1.
Yes.
That is 1,220.
Yes.
Now, if you're going to take care, I don't know how you will take care of them. And I'm sure everybody listening to us knows what we are talking about.
Yes.
If you're going to take care of over 1,200 people to get that 50, I don't know how many people are contesting.
We are four for now.
Okay, so is it just about the highest number of votes, or you need 50%?
No, it is the highest number of votes.
So you can even win with 400.
Yes.
Not because of the numbers, or maybe 600 or 800 or 1,000.
Exactly.
So you don't need maybe half.
Yes.
But even if you don't need even 50%, that is a lot of effort you have to make.
Yes.
Just to become a constituency chairman.
Yes.
Your message is not enough.
It's not enough. The message is not enough. You still have to.
Is it not also not a way of, respectfully, people who may have been able, and I'm not talking about the people you're contesting with, who may in another 5 years, 10 years, or even the years before, who may have been in a position to, but because they are not rich businessmen like you, then they'll just sit there somewhere and they'll just mind their own business. And we won't have the people who really can serve ending up working for the parties.
That's the problem we have now. And we have to change the dynamics. If we are able to serve the people right, at least, the previous leaders, our executives, if they were able to meet some even at least 10% of the expectation of the delegates, I don't think the money will be the problem. Because they realize that the promise made are not being met. So then you pay me, I vote for you. But when we get somebody who can change the system and make sure that he's working tirelessly to make them happy, to make sure that at least people can see that this man is really working for us. When you go to them again, they will ask you for money. They know that when you are coming, you are bringing opportunities to them.
How is grounds looking like for you?
Very, very, very good.
You can't trust them.
No, I know. I know delegates. You can't trust delegates.
You can't trust them, my brother.
Delegates. But at least we are doing our best. Everything is in the hands of God. It's God who will decide who should lead the constituency, and it's up to them to choose right. Not only follow money. The money will come. I don't know how much they can give you that can take care of you for the next 4 years. Choose someone who
they don't seem to care about that.
Choose someone who will be there for you day, night, who will smile at you even when it's very difficult. So it's on the delegates to decide.
How many more weeks or months do you still have to campaign?
No, we've not even picked nomination. Nominations are around 15th September.
Mm-hmm.
So the election itself is between 24th to 25th October. So
you have another plus or minus
2 months.
4 months. 2 months, sorry.
Yes.
2 months thereabouts too. So pretty much is all about the legwork now.
Yes.
And a lot of visits.
Yes.
And even the visits, they have to drink water.
Oh. You can't just come and listen to the English and go like that. You can't just bring delegate to come and sit down, then you speak grammar to them and then you say bye-bye. At least look of you.
They have to drink water.
Exactly. It's not easy.
Honestly, I don't know how you people do it. I meet people like you, and I keep asking myself, how do you do it? Like, how do you do it? Like, so if you have to meet delegates 10 times before the election day, at every meeting they'll drink water. Then on the day of the elections too, they'll drink Coke.
Yes.
Now they'll move from water to Coke.
To cook. And they have to eat something. It's not easy. But we also want to make an impact. We want to show them that there's good leadership somewhere that they've not experienced before.
Let me push you on this one because of all the scenarios that we are looking at. Is that not the reason why some people appear to think, because some of these things you need to talk about them with evidence, that when you put in so much effort like this, just to be something like constituency chairman, just to be an MP or any other position, when you come in, then you start thinking of yourself and the opportunities that you may come to you. So it's not their fault that when they come in, they also think of themselves, because you would have spent a fortune just to be, with the greatest of respect, constituency chairman, party secretary, treasurer, vice chairman. You are spending a fortune just to take these positions. So when you come to power, you think of yourself.
It's not easy. It's not easy, but how we go do it? That's how it should be. But at least, as thinking of yourself, you should also be seen working. When they see that you are working, they will be happy with you, and next time they won't be demanding so much from you. But if you come and you only think about what you get alone, or you don't help them, then next time when you are coming, then you have to double the money. You pay arrears. All those that you are supposed to pay, you don't pay. You now pay.
Really?
Yes. So it's a problem. It's a big problem, but we still have to make difference. When you show a good leadership, I think the people will appreciate. And next time they won't even ask you for anything. They say, "Oh, this person, that we know him. We know him. He will do it."
Your party is in power. Does it make it any easier for you?
At all? It's not. It's not. Well, now that the party is in power, others have jobs. Even some of my contestants, they are working. Some are managers, some are in big positions, and they still want to come to the constituency. So they are making money from there, and they want to come and contest the constituency. But the little that
you are getting some contracts here and there.
I've not gotten even a single contract from anybody.
Maybe
I've not gotten.
Maybe you're okay.
I'm not.
I said maybe.
I'm not. I lost my company because of the party. The previous government collapsed my company.
Okay, I won't mention the company.
So nothing is happening. Just that I still feel that I have a lot of people like me in the system that needs to be helped. Because when my issue came, it took the grace of God to sustain me. It was very tough. Got to a point, at least even what to eat was a problem. But through perseverance, we were able to push up to this level. So I know there are others too who are also going through different levels of challenges, and they need to be encouraged so that we can all fight together and make our constituency a better one.
So what will be your final word? I know you have another 2 months, so I'm sure we'll probably speak to you again before election time. But between this time and that time, if there is anyone who is listening to you and may want to make his mind or her mind early before voting day, what message do you have for that person?
What I'll tell my delegates is, I will not look down on anybody contesting me. We are all qualified. But they should look at someone who will make time for them, who will serve them. Even after this election, the person will still come to them and be with them during elections. Because if you don't choose the right person, we will live to regret it. And the complaints that we keep on complaining will still be there. And nothing will change. We can't keep on doing the same thing and expect different results. So please, Ayowasu West delegates, vote for me when the time comes. And I promise you, I'll serve you right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So that was Mr. Ken Nat Yezu, who wants to be the constituency chairman for the NDC. It's still another 2 months. We're going to be giving an opportunity to as many of them who would want to take advantage of this platform as the elections come up. Same with the MPP as well. There'll be a lot of hopefuls, whatever the position is, because these are the people who are going to end up electing the people who go to parliament, and these people would end up taking decisions for you and me. So don't only be interested in who your MP is. The conversation will start from Mr. Yezu and his people, because they would be electing at the delegates level when it comes to leadership of the party, the MP, the flag bearer, and all of that. I don't know whether by your time everybody will be voting. Everybody with their party
Oh,
card will be
they
voting.
said 1 year time, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, so it wouldn't
It
probably
will,
affect
yeah,
your
not
election.
at
So
all.
you're still going with the delegate system.
Yes.
2,440 people. I wish you well.
Thank you very much.
I wish you. I've got one or two messages coming in from your constituents. Good morning, Kwame. I also and East Legon, to be precise. The problem there is that is not all about employment. There are also issues of accommodation and rent. Listening to your guests in the studio, I am upset because okay, you say that he didn't mention anything around. Yeah, the issues are plenty. He can't possibly talk about all of them today. So courage inside East Legon. I'm sure you'll be patient with Mr. Yuzu on this one. He can possibly come in and manage all your issues in one day. Okay, this one, Erica in Gulf City. Okay, now this is a very funny one. You say, Kwame, you can imagine places like Pon Katamansu. If you are coming for chairman or MP, you will be hot. I see. This one say. So he's saying that because his party is in power, he can help people get into certain positions. Do they meet the criteria? I asked him that question, good citizen, whether the people meet the criteria, and it was like, yes, some meet, and some of them too can be offered TVET opportunities. He said that. I don't know whether you were still with us at that time. This one says, Kwame, good morning. Say hello to Kenat. You know Babs Abelingbe?
Yes.
Yes. So he's the one who sent the message. This one, he says, as we say, good morning to you. This one says, okay, this one is about a different issue altogether. Okay, so Mr. Nat, we wish you well.
Thank you
and
very much.
God willing, maybe we'll have you in the studio again before election day.
Yes,
all the best.
Thank you.
Still live on Class 91.3 FM. Dr. Seto Kwame Fiajo. He's a deputy managing director and he's responsible for operations of the organization. So, yeah, these days that's what they have, deputy managing director in terms of finance and admin, and then operations, and then something, depending on the size of the organization. So, I have Dr. Seto Kwame Fiajo in the studio with us. We're going to be having some issues and some conversations to do with their space. Cocoa issues come up every day. That's why my senior doctor Randy Abbey is always in the news. I wonder whether he sleeps. The pressure on him must be more than I'm telling you. But even before we get into those conversations, we just want to try and recall a few issues concerning this. His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama talking up the organization and what plans of governments are in getting the organization to the required level it deserves. Listen.
This policy to anchor our aim of value addition. Recently, wild fluctuations in the world cocoa market price have compelled us to take emergency steps to cushion our cocoa industry and protect our farmers. Measures have included a painful downward review of the domestic producer price. The current crisis in the cocoa sector compels us to urgently introduce reforms in the entire cocoa value chain. Reforms will include, amongst others, domestic funding for cocoa purchasing, expanded involvement of local licensed buying companies in cocoa purchasing, including the revamp of the produce buying company, expand value addition and processing of cocoa and other tree crops locally, automatic price mechanism that pays the farmer 70% of the international market price at prevailing exchange rates, drastic reduction of expenditure and elimination of waste in the cocoa board, and retooling of the cocoa processing company. We must move Ghana from a raw commodity exporter to a value-added producer.
That was His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama there. He also had this to say concerning the management and the structure of the organization.
SIGA is facilitating discussions to revive the produce buying company, deliberating with the Ghana Stock Exchange about the potential listing of at least 10 of the SOEs on the stock exchange, and encouraging them to prioritize dividend payments as their primary objective this year.
That was His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama. Let's also have a listen to the Minister of Finance, Dr. Cassiel Ato Forson.
Would not optimize its installed capacity for processing. The new financing model will utilize domestic cocoa beans to purchase cocoa. The new financing model will utilize domestic cocoa bonds to purchase cocoa and repay the cocoa proceeds within each crop year. The bonds will be used to raise a revolving fund for cocoa board to turn around at least once during the season. The model will also revive the indigenous licensed buying companies that have been completely thrown out of business as a result of the current financing model. State-owned produce buying company, PBC, will be revived to resume full operations and become the leading licensed buying company in the cocoa sector with immediate effect. With the new financing model, Cocoa Board can sell beans of any volume to local processing companies to promote value addition and job creation. Cabinet has, however, directed that with immediate effect, the remainder of the beans for the crop year 2025-2026 should be allocated for domestic processing. Cabinet has also directed that beginning from 2026 to 2027 crop season, a minimum of 50% of all cocoa beans should be processed locally. And this will be part of the Cocoa Board Bill going to Parliament. Pursuant to this, the state-owned cocoa processing company, CPC, will be revived as a matter of priority to become the leading processor of Ghana's cocoa beans. I've also, this morning, together with my colleague, the Minister responsible for trade, agribusiness and industry, met with domestic cocoa processors cutting across the private sector, who have indicated that they have the capacity and the willingness to process more than 50% of Ghana's cocoa beans going forward. An agreement has been reached on the immediate implementation of this policy. In order to address the indebtedness inherited by the current management of Ghana Cocoa Board, Cabinet has further directed that the Minister responsible for finance, myself, to urgently seek parliamentary approval for the following. 1, to convert the legacy debt of about 5.8 billion Ghana cedis owed to the Ministry of Finance and Bank of Ghana. Cocoa Board currently owes the Ministry of Finance 3.7 billion Ghana cedis, which arose from the conversion of non-marketable cocoa bills into a loan, and the Bank of Ghana another 10-year loan of 1.38 billion Ghana cedis. The debt conversion will restore positive equity and boost the international and local market to support the operations of the Ghana Cocoa Board. This will strengthen the balance sheet, obviously, of Ghana Cocoa Board to enable it to implement its new financing model and the reforms. Cabinet has also directed that, with immediate effect, there should be a transfer of road liabilities worth 4.35 billion Ghana cedis to the Ministry of Roads and Highways and the Ministry of Finance. From 2014 to 2024, Cocoa Board owed cocoa contractors.
So that was the Finance Minister Cassie Latofosin there. This morning we're having a conversation on cocoa, and Dr. Seto Kwame Dwomoh, he's the Deputy Managing Director responsible for operations, has joined us in the studio. Now, the produce buying company PBC has for decades been a critical player in Ghana's cocoa value chain, serving as one of the country's leading license buying companies, responsible for purchasing cocoa from farmers on behalf of the state. Beyond cocoa purchasing, PBC has played an important role in supporting rural livelihoods, creating jobs, and contributing to Ghana's foreign exchange earnings. In recent years, however, PBC has faced significant financial and operational challenges, including mounting debt, declining market share, competition from other license buying companies, delayed payments to farmers, and questions about its long-term sustainability. These developments have sparked public interest in the future of the company and its ability to remain competitive in Ghana's cocoa industry. With the government prioritizing economic recovery and the revitalization of strategic state-owned enterprises, expectations are high that PBC can be repositioned to regain its financial health, improve services to cocoa farmers, and strengthen its contribution to the national economy. This morning, like I said earlier on, we're privileged to have Dr. Seto Kwame Dwomoh to address the issues and the concerns concerning PBC. And I can tell him for free that the last time we had a conversation on PBC, it wasn't easy in the studio. I don't know whether he was in office by that time, but this must be, was it just before the election or just after the election, when staff of the company were asked to go home?
Yes.
Was it before the election or after the election?
Before.
It wasn't easy in the studio that day. I tell you, the only thing that happened was this one. I'm telling you.
That's serious.
In the course of the program, we had staff of the organization walking in.
Wow.
It was that hot.
Hey.
That was the only thing that did not happen. This one. That I can see. So maybe it appears that under your watch and that of your boss, maybe things are a lot stable. But I'll leave those to you. What would you say is the current state of the organization, and how would you assess your operational health today?
Thank you very much, Kwame. I would like to also greet our cherished viewership across board for listening this morning. Actually, what you narrated earlier, being the state before we came and took over, that was last year in May, was quite a distressful situation. But however, since we came on board, what we've been able to do is that we went around the various 9 cocoa growing regions where we operate in about 100 districts as at now, even though it's 127 districts. What we did was that we encouraged the staff, and then majority of them, within about 2 months, were able to put themselves together to go back to post. So, every business organization is a going concern. So what we had to do was to see how we'll get a private business person who would be able to give us some facility to be able to procure the cocoa, because we're using the off-taker system, which was introduced the previous administration before they left. So we had to continue with that. We were able to sign about 100 and almost about 50,000 tons of contract to be able to purchase cocoa. But due to certain technicalities, what we were able to get was just 1,000 tons.
Out of 50,000.
Out of 50,000. Because the company had operated for a long time, there was that fear of maybe the cocoa will not be delivered, the money might go. You know how the cocoa industry works. You have to trust the person you are giving the money to, because it goes through the region to the district manager. The person takes the money, he tells you he's going to look for the cocoa, and now brings it to your PC to be able to give to your district manager and puts it in the depot.
What kind of system is that?
That's how it is.
And it's worked like that since?
Yes, it has always been like that since the 90s, 80s. It's a
And it
similar
worked
system.
for them?
Yes. Not only for PBC, the whole cocoa industry.
Yeah.
But I think going forward would expatiate more as to the new innovations that have come on board. So going back to the issue of being able to get some private facility, with that 1,000 tons coming, that was almost about 60 million Ghana cedis, of which we were able to deliver even more than that. So we purchased about 1,200 tons of cocoa. That is in excess of about 18,000 bucks. With this, we're able to use that for a little margins, which we have used to be able to pay salaries from October down to this year, June. So the system being a little bit quiet is because of the fact that at least they've realized that there's some operational activity that is going on. That's what's calming the tensions down. Hopefully, we are looking at seeking for additional funds from other investors, and hoping also that once Cocoa Board raises some funds using the commercial paper, PBC will also be factored within it.
Now, PBC has faced a number of challenges over the past few years. What do you consider to be the biggest factor behind the company's difficulties?
Actually, we coming into office, one of the major headaches has been the legacy debt. That's the banks. We have this subsidiaries. That's Bupeshe factory is also a subsidiary of PBC, equally as Golden Bean Hotel. So what happened is that in the past, the previous administration had to seek for loans to be able to develop these facilities. So they put up the share factory that was in collaboration with a Brazilian consortium. Then Golden Bean Hotel, which is also in Kumasi, one of the premium hotels there. So these debts have accumulated for some time now. But right from 2022, I think there was that stop in interest accumulation. But the consortium of banks have been on our necks since that time until now. So if you would go through the news portals, you realize that as at February, March thereabout, there was this stay of execution that was being given by the court for the banks not to come and then attack whatever properties we're having, because earlier that stay of execution was being relinquished and then they had that liberty, but we had to go into terms and conditions with them. But with all the promises and the tips you played earlier, you realize that if you're part of the banks, you have high expectations.
Of course.
Because when our honorable minister, who is our sector minister, was speaking, he said with immediate effect, we're going to be the leading LBC, licensed buying company. So they have the notion that once with immediate effect, the money is over there, and then maybe they've released some monies to us to work, and we have refused to pay them. So with that whole issue, it's more of like the court issues keep persisting, but we are still talking to them with time and hoping that at least whatever it is, we'll be able to find some amicable solution and then pay them off, because it was almost about 200 and something. We were able to negotiate with them using our shareholders, which has been reduced to about 80 million. So we are hoping that certain facilities are being developed. Once it goes through, we're able to get that facility. We'll be able to pay the banks off, and then at least that will also lie there. Now we'll think of the statutory payments like GRAs, net, Once you've accumulated salary arrears of almost 20 months plus, surely you'll be owing all those statutory payment. Yeah.
One of the things that I know is that for organizations like your size,
Yeah.
when it comes to any conversation about debts, what you try to do sometimes is to structure them with
Yeah.
your debtors,
Yeah.
and then you keep paying and paying and paying,
Yeah,
and then at some point, but even that has to be agreed with them.
Yeah.
And if they decide not to, based on the terms that you may be offering, then you keep litigating and litigating and litigating. Does it appear, because you say you reduced from 200 to 80,
Yeah.
it then appears to me that whatever you propose them appears to make sense, I guess.
Yes. Basically, it was our shareholders. SNET is one of the majority shareholders also within our organization, equally as Ministry of Finance. It's a JVC, a joint venture, where government has majority shareholding. So I think sitting at the table, what happened was that when we came into office, before we were appointed in May, what His Excellency the President did was that he set up a committee at Jubilee House where they were tasked to see how they could resolve the situation. So I think talks were ongoing before we were even appointed as at May. So they agreed on certain terms and conditions, hoping that whatever it is, the 80 would have been paid even as at last year by December. But quite unfortunately, we've not been able to do that. But negotiations are still ongoing.
Okay, I wish you well with those negotiations and how it go. Let's look at a few things around your recovery strategy at this point. I mean, what concrete measures have your new management, of course, implemented to return PBC to profitability and restore a certain level of confidence among stakeholders?
Yes. What we did when we came into office was that we had to see how we use certain strategic assets of ours. That's Golden Bean Hotel being one of the premium hotels in Kumasi. So we had to look for an investor who would be willing to invest some amount of money to see how at least that resource or facility could be used to offset some of the debts and also used for expansion works on the hotel. So basically that was one step we took. I think negotiations are ongoing. The board has approved for that to take place. So we are hoping that plus or minus in the next 1 or 2 months, we should be able to get that private investor seeking to be able to buy shares within the hotel, make available the monies, we pay off the banks, use some in expansion of the hotel, and then see how we can use some also for operational activities. We are also hoping that with the issuance of the commercial paper by Cocoa Board, at least being the only state licensing buying company, we should also be prioritized. That's our hope, because pension funds are going to be used to raise majority of the commercial paper, the bonds that are going to be done. So we are hoping that once that is done, at least PBC should be factored in. Some resources should be made available also for the organization to be able to take care of its operational activities. Because without operations, we generate our revenue through gaining margins, the profit we get from buying the cocoa. So once we're able to get that rolling over, it will be able to facilitate at least and solve a few issues around the company.
Is there a timeline? I mean, for this turnaround strategy, and what key performance indicators should Ghanaians be looking out for?
Yeah. Actually, we are under the Ministry of Finance. What happened earlier was that in March thereabouts, we tried organizing an EGM. But quite unfortunately, the Ministry of Finance representation was unable to show up. We're hoping that certain agreements would have been done and then would have proceeded. And by now, maybe probably the debts will have been partly taken off by the private investor. But quite unfortunately, they were not able to come. So we have seek audience with our Honorable Minister, that is Honorable Atuforsen, being our sector minister. So we are hoping that in the coming days or weeks, whatever it is, he would call us to see how we would put whatever plans or strategies we want to put in place become fruitful, because we can't do anything without his guidance. That's also another thing. Aside the board approving and all of that, he must also take cognizance of whatever it is that we are doing and then guide us through whatever steps. So the timelines also rest also partly on him, and we all know that he's a very busy minister. So we are hoping that at least by the end of August, we should be able to make headway.
Is it my understanding that PBC is one of the organizations under the finance ministry?
Yeah, we're under the finance ministry.
So whatever decisions you will take at your level will still have to be approved by him.
Yes, please.
Now you say, for example, he appears to be very busy, which we all know. So if you need to take, let's say, some very immediate decisions, for example, how do you navigate your way around that?
There's a threshold to which the board can take certain decisions, and there's a threshold to which the executive management can take certain decisions. However, talking of maybe using one of your strategic assets, you can't do it without his involvement. So aside the board approving and management being in agreement, he must also buy into whatever it is and then give that green light, and then we are good to go. So we are hoping that in the coming weeks, at least once the cocoa bill has been passed, we know that there are certain measures that he would like to also implement within the licensing, the LBC side. As of now, we've not been able to have access to the cocoa bill because it has already been passed by Parliament. It has not been assented to yet by the President. Once it's assented to, it becomes a public document, and then maybe we can all perish through.
Okay, we'll be keeping tabs on this and then we'll see how it goes. Now, let's move into an area where I'm sure my uncles and my aunties will be interested in supporting cocoa farmers.
Yes.
I mean, if you are from my side of the country, there's definitely a family member involved in cocoa, who has been involved in cocoa for God knows how long.
Okay. You're from the western
side? From the Ashanti region.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There's definitely a family. Some of them you might not even know them, but
even some of the extended uncles.
I'm telling you, they are either subcontractors.
Yes.
They work with some cocoa crutches somewhere.
Yes, they might even be PCs.
I mean, they are doing all kinds of things.
Commission collects and all
I'm
of that.
telling you.
Maybe even have a cocoa farm that has been given to you.
That's what
maybe one of your uncles.
We have some.
Okay.
Yeah, but one of my uncles is running because my grandfather started it.
Okay.
And he's late now, so one of my uncles is running it. And Charlie, I went to some of these areas. I was like, Charlie, how do you people do it? Like,
it's not easy.
The
supply chain is.
I'm telling you, I tried walking through one of the farms, Charlie. Yeah, I'll share my story and that day. We got to a point I was asking myself, Charlie, we did Ghana because I was only seeing cocoa trees. I wasn't seeing anything like oh, this is part of the cocoa farm. How was my grandfather doing it?
He really did well.
This is like, and my grandfather left till he was 107.
Wow.
And he did the cocoa thing practically his whole life. Wow. So I remember I was asking myself, in those days where there was no like a combined harvester, no all the implements and tools system, and all of those things. So how a day, for example, you know that your cocoa is 1 acre, 10 acre, whatever it is. You had to be walking through. He said they had a way of drawing the boundaries, so they know that my cocoa farm ends here, and this person's cocoa farm starts from there and there, and the one to this side is there. To the extent that I was told that one of the farms can, I don't know how it is, but you can go on and then you end up somewhere in the western region.
As towards maybe the Lubu border. You are going towards Cote d'Ivoire.
I need to make time and go and see all of those places. But I'm sure I'll do that someday. Yes. Let's look at that area. I mean, the conversation on cocoa farmers is always a very emotional one.
Yes.
Because of how long people have been on that, how long people have depended on that, and how people still live on that till this day. So any mishap in any way or form, it gets to millions of people because of people who may be dependent on all of that. If we all agree that the farmers are the backbone of the industry, how is PBC improving its services to ensure timely purchasing, prompt payments, and better support to the farmers? If we can take it one by one.
Yeah. So let me take the.
So let's start
payment.
with the If you want to start with the prompt payments,
payment. What happened is that this season has not really been a smooth one, and basically we would not blame just cocoa, but it's basically a world market problem. The cocoa prices are not set here in Ghana; it's set on the international market. The FOB price is being set over there. So at the end of the day, in Ghana itself, as at now, looking at our financial structure and modeling, formerly was a syndicated system where we go and seek for funding, come $3 billion, we revolve it around and buy. But now, because of certain one or two financial situations, they had to change it and make it an off-taker system or a 50-50, 70-30, where the investor pays majority and then the government also supports. Because the world market prices were not really favoring the whole cocoa industry, majority of the investors who were ready to invest their monies within, it wasn't really encouraging. So that was basically the main problem. So you have a situation whereby the farmer has done all his best, harvested his cocoa, he brings it to his PC, his purchasing clerk, and then it's lying there idle. And at the end of the day, you would have heard mom out their car and all of that. It was basically about the credit. Most LBCs had to credit, which isn't really legal. But at the end of the day, you can't allow the cocoa also to be lying idle in the depot facility, the storage facility. At least it must move. If not that, to develop molds, once it rains and all of that, NTD and other things would affect the cocoa produce. So what the majority of the LBCs were doing was that we're crediting them. We take it that maybe in 1 week or 2 weeks, we see how we make a financial arrangement with maybe a financial institution. We get some resources from them. Then you go and pay the farmer in advance, hoping that when CocoaBoard gets the money, whatever it is, they come and then pay you back. So that was delaying a little bit and was creating a little bit fluctuation within the system. But I'm hoping strongly that with this new cocoa bill, where we are looking at raising commercial papers, using our bonds and local investors who are interested in investing their money. Even Kwame yourself, once it's open, you can also go and invest.
Oh, I see.
Yes, it's to be open to the general public. Whoever, is more of like a commercial, it's a bond. So you go, you invest, they revolve around this ring fenced stuff and escrow account where the money is revolving around there, so your money is secured. At the end of the day, whoever invests, you get your percentage, it comes back to you. The farmer is also liquidated. So I'm hoping that with the new financial structure, the payment issues at least would reduce a little bit, because that one we are raising it locally. We are no more waiting for the foreign investor to come and then invest his money here. If the world market price goes to 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever, it's $1,000, $3,000, $4,000 per ton. So at least with that one, we know the money is lying here. So we are using whatever money to revolve around the cocoa supply chain. So with payments, we are hoping that it will be prompt once the commercial paper structure starts, which I'm hoping that by middle or before end of August, because the season opens in September. That has been agreed across board between ourselves and then Ivory Coast. This being the two largest exporters of cocoa across.
And I'm glad you brought the Ivorian one in, because I want to ask you a question that someone once posed to me and even sent a message to that regard. We, together with Ivorians, I'm told we produce over 60% of the world's cocoa. How are we not, for two countries with such large controlling stakes, how are we not able to determine the prices? But the prices have to be determined in London.
Yes, because at the end of the day, it's capital intensive. So the whole thing is that at the end of the day, the problem is that you have the produce, but you are going to, basically you are doing the farming, you produce the raw beans, you are not adding any value.
What has stopped us from adding any
Yes,
value?
that is why
on
with
this,
the new bill, we are hoping that it will be implemented to the latter, where we said that 50% of the beans will be processed here. If we add value and at least we change it to liquor or powder or something before exporting it, then we gain more appreciation on the commodity. But when you export the raw beans, it goes back there. They have the industry to be able to remanufacture and turn it around, and at the end of the day, sell it at a higher price. So within whatever committee, they will have the larger stake, because you can't go and tell someone who is maybe working within Olam Space, Ofi, or maybe Belly Calibre or something. These are international brands who have their chocolate manufacturing companies across the world, and you will make the decisions for them. It's not possible. Because at the end of the day, what do you have? You only have CPC, Cocoa Processing Company. That's what belongs to the states.
I see.
Ivory Coast here has some others. At least now we have certain private processing factories also. When you go across the free zones enclave around Pond, they are also there, like Niche and others are also having their factories over there. So we are hoping that with time and with the introduction of the new bill, at least once we add value, the prices would go a little bit up.
Okay. How about the support services that you provide to the cocoa
Yeah,
farmers?
so
Let's start off by what exactly do you provide them?
yes, what happens is that you take PBC as one of the LBCs. We've been the only state. We have what we call the sustainability unit. What they do is that basically with the support, they go around to the farmers, basically provide them extension education, and also let them also realize that there is this project, this EU. Majority of our beans goes to the EU denominated countries.
Okay.
So they have this deforestation stuff, climate change, this carbon credits and others. So once you do it well, they pay higher on trees cocoa that comes from areas that are mapped and within the sustainability kind of project. So we educate the farmers and let them understand they shouldn't engage in maybe child labor, burn the trees, or use them for any other things like illegal mining and other stuffs. And once that is being done, because now there's a new system that is cocoa traceability. So all the various cocoa farms are being mapped. So we know exactly which particular produce is coming from. Maybe it's coming from farmer A, farmer B, this particular district. So with that kind of support, at least they gain extra value. We have something called premium bonuses. Because there's an additional money being paid for beans from that particular area, we let the farmers understand that once you use the best agronomic practices, at least you gain something extra as compared to your other colleague farmer who basically isn't going by what the international standards are required for. So their support system at least goes a little bit higher. And we also have within the structures, we have this input unit. What they also engage in is giving them subsidized prices like fertilizer, seedlings, and other producers, who they pay within a time frame.
I thought it was Cocoa Board also does that.
They
right?
also do that. That's with their CHED extension unit. They have an extension unit also, but we also have a sustainability unit which also has inputs across board. They also do that across board.
Do they get it for free or at subsidized rates or something?
At subsidized rates, because what we do is that we have this partners across. We have it in selected districts. It's not across all cocoa growing districts.
Oh, okay.
So we have a partnership between ourselves and Pan African Bank. There's this rural community bank, and what they do is that they operate through Access Bank. So they give some funding. Then what you do is that you operate through the cooperatives. We have societies across the various districts, the farming communities. So once they get there, they use the leadership over there to educate the farmers and then tell them of the subventions that are available and what they can gain once they do all of that, and then make them subscribe to the products and then let them know that on the market is this price. We are going to give it to you maybe instead of 50 cedi at 30 cedi because so and so is trying to subsidize, this bank is trying to do something for you, and at the end of the day what they are expecting is that you also go by whatever sustainable practices that will help to be able to make your farm meet whatever international requirements. So basically it's hand in hand. We educate them, give them the support, and then that is.
Let's wrap up on that with the timely purchases.
Yeah.
So there are timelines for which if I produce, you have to come get it.
Yes. What happens is that it's between the PC, the purchasing clerk, and then the district manager. So normally, like I was saying earlier, most times when the cocoa it's being kept at the depot, you would realize that if it's not taken on time, it develops mold, like I said, and then NTDs, these cocoons and other things come. So once it's not evacuated on time and it goes bad, you have to recondition them. And once you are reconditioning, the weight reduces because you don't have all the beans being intact just like before.
You take some out.
You have to take some out. So that's why the timely structure is very important.
Okay.
Evacuating the cocoa from that.
In line with the support to the cocoa farmers still, I understand that there a bit of concerns to do with competition in the industry, and that's PBC. How is your organization PBC addressing these concerns from competition while maintaining strong relationships with the farmers?
Oh, competition is quite good. In every industry, you take a look, just like even oil and Star Oil. One person reduces it down by
Some
one CD,
coins.
2 CD, and before you see TQ will come online, then comes to write a book, he's afraid, his teeth go up. And once that's happening, you realize that it's the consumer that is benefiting. Because everybody is up to the tax, because you realize that if you don't do things right, your competitor is going to do things right, and at the end of the day, you are going to lose your market. But however, PBC, we are the only state licensing by company that is established under an LI from Parliament, and we are required to amass cocoa from which we are the buyer of last resort.
Okay.
So where everybody can't go, we must go there. So where even the road is bad, wherever it is, we have to go down from Jasikan, KJB, Elubu, Enche, Samra Boy, the difficult terrains, we have to go there, because even when you go there, at the end of the day, your profit is not going to be that high. But the private person is unable to be able to go there. So, but all in all, it's good. We won't say that competition isn't good. It's good that private players come on board, but all we normally ask for is that there must be a fair playing field. Quite recently, I don't know if you follow the news, that was around, I think in February, March, thereabout. There was this incident that happened in Hohoi, Jasikai, where we realized that certain private companies were buying cocoa into our facilities.
Yes, I remember that story. Yeah.
And, I was the one who went, and then I realized that all these things were happening. And quite unfortunately, our district manager who was there never told us about anything that was happening. And he had gone, taken this contract, and bought over 32,000 bags without the knowledge even of the company here in Accra. And he was making his profit, taking everything.
I know, right?
Yes. So you go and you meet someone doing that kind of thing. I mean, you can't just go and then say, oh, you would close your eyes on it and move. At the end of the day, we are still supposed to pay him salaries. We are supposed to still renovate the facility. If anything happens to the depot, or even as the private company has come to contract he, the district manager, if there is a fire outbreak there and the cocoa has issues, to the farmers, they are aware that they are giving the cocoa to PBC. They are not aware that they are giving it to a private company.
Oh, my people.
He gets the so
my people that
so once it happens in that particular way, then someone might take the view and be like, oh, PBC is scared, they don't want to compete because they're private people. No, that's not what we are saying. There must be a level playing field. And everything, in every institution, there are structures. If you're the private institution, you want to maybe work with our staff or store some of your storage within our depots or facilities, you can just write a letter to the head office. We have a negotiation, terms and agreement. We all know how much that comes out of the margins, which is the profit. And then it's a win-win. So then no one is scared of competition from private LBC. Yes.
That's right.
All we are saying is that there must be a level playing field. Let's all compete. Majority of them, even basically at the end of the day, when they get their profits and margins, they repatriate them. It goes outside. It doesn't even stay here in the country. So why don't you rather empower the state licensing buying company who will make the money, and at the end of the day, it stays here, and we use it for other projects, which will also benefit our country at large.
Matao. Anyway, well, that's why you're there as management. I mean, to deal with some of these issues, as and when they arise. Let's still proceed and look at a few other issues as well. Now, if we look at the general cocoa industry here in Ghana, there's been a lot of conversations about production declining with respect to. I've seen a graph with a tonnage. 2016 it was close to 1 million tons. In 2017 it was 800,000 and 400,000. The last time I saw, I think it was somewhere a little short of 500,000. The last one I saw. This must be, is it maybe early 2025? I haven't seen the figures for 2026 yet. But I saw something close to a little below 500,000. What is causing these things?
So basically you are right. It keeps declining, but at least I think with the rainfalls and whatever is happening, as at yesterday that we're speaking, at least that's gone up to almost 730,000 tons.
Wow.
Yes, it has increased a little bit. with, it got to a point we had this infiltration of disease trees coming across. So there was that replanting that was done, especially across the western enclave. Most of the trees that were infected, the QCC chair had to see how they speak to the farmers. They gave them new seedlings to do replanting and all of that. So the weak ones were cut off, new ones were being planted off. And at least cocoa production, not less than 4 years. So it takes some time. So the tonnages are improving gradually. And the illegal mining is also one big factor.
That's a big conversation.
Yeah. So in the new bill, I think what has been stated there is that even though the farmer, you own the cocoa farm, you don't have the right to use the farm or sell it out to maybe. Previously, they can just get up. A miner comes, he comes to do prospectus. So maybe this, your 1 acre or half acre, maybe I can see there's some cocoa. Then let me give you this money and then cut off the cocoa tree. It's no more going to be like that. We are going to abide by the EPA rules and regulations. How you can't just get up and then go and cut any tree at your own will. So I think that at least with what is being stated explicitly within the new bill, it would help stop farmers from just agreeing to go and give off their farms for illegal mining. That whole thing would calm down a little bit. And also with the smuggling also. You see, it's important that the state empowers PBC. Because PBC being the buyer of last resort, we are across all the 127 cocoa growing districts. At least the farmer sometimes, once they are done, after going through the rigorous process of planting, waiting for 4 years plus before harvesting and all of that, and maybe the person is way in some deprived community, and virtually he doesn't have a private district manager maybe being around who can maybe come and maybe assist him purchase his cocoa. It becomes a little bit of a challenge. But once PBC is within all those particular localities, and then most of these district managers are being empowered, it helps to be able to minimize the smuggling, because the person knows very well that my produce is safe. And even if I'm looking for PBC, they have a district office. If I don't even find a district manager there at the district office, I can always go to the regional office. So with that, at least it minimizes that whole issue of smuggling taking place. The farmer is not scared or skeptical that maybe when I give my cocoa to this private institution, because what happens is the majority of these private institutions do not even have district offices. Even some of them don't even have regional offices. What they do, they call it Kobo. They move around with a truck. Then they get to a particular district. Oh, do you have 1 kilo, 1 bag, 2 kilo? Then they just take it from the person. Then maybe they give the person something. At the end of the day, some maybe they are not able to even pay you off. Mama kakra.
And you never see them.
So then at the end of the day, this farmer who has gone through this rigorous process and then harvested, someone maybe comes from the other side of the border and is having ready cash. Now it favors Ghana because our price is better than Ivory Coast.
Oh.
Yes. But in the situation where it's the other way around, once the person comes from the other side, because the person is trying to buy from here and go and make profit.
Sure.
And make business. And that person comes with ready cash. And when the person looks around and says, this XYZ, whatever company, DYZ, private institution, or whatever it is, LBC wants to buy from me. Hey, the last time maybe I sold 2 bags, he gave me just 1. I was looking for the district. The person who even came for the cocoa, they say he has been transferred to a different community. The person won't take that risk again of saying that he's going to do. And when the person comes from Ivory Coast and gives him the biscuit, you just pay and then give it up to the person. So at least it's very, very paramount that the state licensing buying company, which is PBC, should be empowered. So that at least this few issues such as smuggling would be curtailed, at least if not minimize the barest minimum, at least be eliminated.
I just want us to look at this Galamsey thing briefly, and then we'll move on to the other issues as well. Every now and then, I mean, I move around with work and all of that, and I go to areas where, let's say 10 years ago I was there, or 15 years ago I was there for whatever reason. I go there today and a huge expanse of land gone. I go and I see, sometimes I can't even recognize some of these places. They appear to be like different communities altogether. And when you ask the locals, I mean, what happened? You're not interested in the business anymore or something. I remember in one particular instance, we met this old man, and he was very blunt. Between the effort he puts in and what he gets, with that Galamsey miner who is offering a ridiculous
cash.
amount of
Yeah.
money, like ridiculous, for ownership of that space. I mean, they do the maths. Some of them are getting relatively older as well.
Yes.
They can't do the hard work anymore. They do the give or take. Charlie, me now, how many years do I have? Let me just take in media. Like they are
no, that's the
blunt like
reality.
that.
It's
You
just
know,
blunt. Yeah.
are you worried that at some point in the areas where the Galamsey is becoming a bit difficult to fight, it might just affect your tonnage as well?
That's a reality. It's something that we are faced with, and we are hoping that with the efforts also that EPA is putting in place, because we can't do it alone. We'll play our part by doing our bits, by the education and all of that, inputs going down, we speaking to them. However, also, what PBC also did was that, I don't know if you read about that chief within Jema community. There was this viral story, I think it was last year.
Was in the Bono East also.
No, across the western north
Okay.
area, where there's this Roman father who normally has been empowering communities that try to fight illegal mining.
Okay.
Around there's this
I
community
didn't come
called
across that.
Jema community. There's this chief that this miners came to him and then gave him a very huge offer. He's bedridden. And
Okay.
told him that they want to even pay for his medical bill, to take him to South Africa and then facilitate whatever it is for him to be okay. And he rejected it. And in fact, when we heard the story, PBC, I think even your sister's station, that's Bernard Avle, even interviewed the Catholic priest who is a brother to the chief, and then rewarded them with some amount, because we're like, if the person has been able to resist illegal mining within his community and is bedridden, at least the public should be able to contribute something to be able to see how the chief can also get his health back. Because if you don't do that, then there's no incentive for another community to be able to learn from
That's right.
that particular community. So what we did as PBC also was that we went there to this particular community and also gave them some inputs and gave them an award to be able to encourage them, because even between they themselves and a different an adjoining community, what we realized that just the second community, they are busily mining. But however, this chief who has resisted the illegal mining and is bedridden, the whole community, and what we heard is that the elders are even divided. There are some that
They want to take.
them, and they want, just kind of, and some are even praying, you even die early, and then they can.
I can imagine.
Yes. So that is how unfortunate and pathetic the whole situation is. But we are hoping that with His Excellency's promise also, and with the commitment from the Land and Natural Resources Minister also, and with what NIMOS is doing, at least the efforts they are putting in place will also help to be able to minimize it. Because we on our own, we don't have a task force. That's one particular thing. We can only speak to the farmers and then see how they will appreciate whatever meaning we are giving to them, so that they'll buy into it and then not be tempted to be able to take whatever goodies will come from the other side for them to give their farms out. And now, once it's being enshrined in the cocoa belt, once the farmer is registered under NACOFA or in any of the Cocoa Farmers Association, the person is bounded not to go and then engage in that.
Okay, just in case you just tuned in, you're live here on Class 91.3. We're having a conversation with Dr. Seto Kwame Fiajo. He is the Deputy Managing Director responsible for operations at PBC Ghana, and we're having conversations about the cocoa sector. If you feel so strong about any particular issue that we've discussed or we're yet to discuss, because we're going all the way, you can let us know on our WhatsApp number 0500,000 202, 0500,000 202. Alternatively, you can reach us on our socials, Class 913 on Facebook. We're streaming live there. Or you can send a message to our WhatsApp number 0500,000 202, 0500,000 202. Doc, what role can PBC play in helping Ghana increase cocoa production and also improve its productivity?
Yes, basically, what we are doing on our own is that we are also supporting CHED, which is the Extension Services under Cocoa Board, using our sustainability unit and input unit. So what they are doing basically is going down to the farmers. The extensional education is going on. Seedlings are being provided, fertilizers are being provided. We are doing all of that, encouraging them, and also we are also trying to see how we would introduce a project which basically is going to convert their disease trees. Some of them has disease trees like swollen shoots, black pod disease, and others. So we have this projects that are trying to put in place with School Discovery Africa, which is an international body, to see how the farmers that are also affected. What we'll do is that we'll let them cut their various disease trees, then we process them into biochar. Then at the end of the day, what we'll do is that we'll generate carbon credit out of that, and then the revenue goes back to them, which will also encourage them to see how they expand their farms, because the person can't depend just on cocoa farming. So once the person is engaged in another activity aside just the cocoa production, once he's gaining enough revenue, he'll be also encouraged that, even once I'm going through this whole rigorous patience of waiting for 4 years till maybe my next cocoa tree is coming, what am I going to be doing? At least even the disease trees are now going to be converted to biochar. I'll generate some revenue. I can still go back into the farming, expand my farm. And with all of that being taking place, the farmer's welfare is also being encouraged. And once the person is okay with his welfare and realizes that he's having a good sense of living or having another livelihood, that person is being encouraged to produce more. So the person is encouraged, even if the climate change issues are coming up, and then at the end of the day, my disease tree really doesn't produce any fruit, there's this other measure of conversion of that disease tree. That wood is going to be cut and then pass through pyrolysis, which will be converted into biochar, and then you gain some resources also from carbon credit. Okay. It's also one of the measures we're also using. Aside our input facilities also going towards them, giving them fertilizers, seedlings, the sprayers, the boom sprayers, and other things, which also is something they are really interested in across the cooperative levels. So we started piloting that across about 50 districts. We are looking at expanding them to about 100. Once we're able to do that, then we pilot it again towards the 127 districts. These are all measures we are trying to look at.
Okay.
Now, yeah.
Let's look at areas of governmental supports.
Yes.
As we go further with this conversation. I've had people, every now and then when the cocoa issues come up, whether, organizations like PBC, especially on the back of what happened before the election in 2024, with what we were told by people who used to work. I remember there was a gentleman who came and said he had been working for the organization for about 27 years or something like that. And, was really sad at, the decline, of the organization. Do you... let me choose my words carefully, need, or are you receiving enough support from governments or Cocoa Board as part of your efforts to strengthen your organization?
The honest truth is that as at now, we've not been able to get any financial support. But it's nothing has come, nothing at all. That's the honest reality that we've been.
How do you work then?
Yeah, basically, like I said, with the previous financial modeling, what you had to do was that you get an off-taker, an investor, who brings his money, and then you use that in purchasing of the beans. Once you purchase the beans, you make margins, that's your profit out of it. And like I said earlier, we had purchased, as at now, we've purchased almost 3,000 tons, which is valued at almost 150 million. Even aside all our debts and all of that, at least
Wow.
this is what we've been able to do without any support from anybody. So basically, I think we'll keep knocking on the door of our sector minister, who is the finance minister, that whatever it is, with the whole new cocoa bill that has been passed, some allocation would be made to PBC, being the only state licensing buying company.
You didn't get anything for the media budgets?
No, nothing like that has taken place because, the whole financial structure within the cocoa sector, the issues were very, very humongous.
Yeah.
Yes, it got to a point where Cocoa Board was only almost 5 months to 6 months of non-payment of cocoa purchased from the farmers. But at least with time, the backlog is being solved. So we are hoping that once now we are raising a commercial paper here and using our own money, that is our pension funds, private individuals who want to also buy the bonds, who also invest their money into that particular space. Some allocation, because we can't use, we have a staff of over 580 now. There used to be 1,000 plus. But because of the issue, some were retiring, some get sick and all of that. But most were also resignations and other things. Because you've been in an institution for long, you're operating in almost 9 regions with a staff strength of over 1,000 plus. And you were basically buying about 33% of what Cocoa Board was basically projecting to buy. So assuming we take an issue like the 770,000 tons that we are talking about, then you strike out about 33%. That was what PBC was doing in the past. And the market share kept on dwindling down, especially after 2021. Because even from 2016 down to 2021, we're still hovering around 10% of the whole industry. Then it came down, and now we are way below even 2% across what we are able to purchase. But the workers are there. They're ready to work. When you go to the district, they are availing themselves. They wake up in the morning, they go. But one particular incentive that drives them is because of the private people. Once they go there, the private boys will come with their money. And there's that temptation, once PBC is not bringing me money and the private person is bringing me money to buy, they will go and buy.
Of course.
And then make something out of it, because at the end of the day, the person has a salary years of almost 20 months plus. So we are hoping that with the new structure and government putting up its commitment of saying that at least they are going to invest about 50% of whatever beans that we are going to procure here on the market should be processed here. That is the local content across board. At least when it comes to the licensing buying also, it's basically their pension funds, which is going to be majority of monies that is going to be invested. At least you have to give some to the state licensing buying company. We shouldn't just leave it being idle in that way. We understand that maybe there might be some issues thereof, but at least we should all sit down at a round table and have an amicable solution to it. Aside the fact that we're also putting the efforts trying to use our strategic assets, like I said, the golden beam, trying to see how we get an investor who will buy some shares within it, and we use that to offset the banks. With the operations also, we need a revolving fund. And we are hoping that at least once money is raised across board, we should be able to use part of that money to support PBC. And we can do it, because with all the struggles and the debts, the bank debts and statutory payments that we are supposed to pay, we've been able to deliver. They gave us 1,000 tons. We've gotten more than 3,000 tons plus, valued at over 150 million. Because the cocoa sector itself, it's capital intensive. It's almost 12% of our economy. Aside gold, it's cocoa. There may be oil. That will follow. Then other diversified commodities will follow. So it's a plea that we'll make to our sector minister and also to the president.
Because you mentioned, diversification, that will take me to my next question.
Yeah.
Because, all over the world, you're looking at organizations like yours, and two things keep coming up: innovation, diversification, innovation, diversification. I know you have short-term plans, medium-term plans, long-term plans. What is the plan at this point with respect to issues around innovation and diversification so that you become a lot more competitive?
Yes. With innovation, at least, that has been started already. With the whole cocoa traceability, like I explained at the beginning, where I said that monies are being taken down to the farmers, the purchasing clerks take them and basically go and purchase without you even knowing whether the person is even going to run away with your money, because you go, assuming you even want to buy even 10 bags, you're looking at over 12,000 plus Ghana cedis. Because my bag is 2,587, 2,587. So if you are buying even 1,000 tons, that is 16,000 bags. So you are looking at a value not less than 60 million Ghana cedi. So with the cocoa traceability system, which has been developed by Cocoa Board, what happens is that right from when the cocoa is brought to the depot, you will be able to see that there's a bar chart which is across board. Every LBC has it. It's across. So you see that the cocoa has been delivered. It's at your depot. Once it moves from there, grading and sealing is being done. It will indicate within the bar. Once it moves from there and goes to the port also, you see that it indicates also within the system. So you're able to follow exactly where the cocoa produces until it gets to the takeover center, which is the port. Once it gets there, then you know that it's safe. It's now in the hands of CMC, Cocoa Marketing Corporation, and then they take it over from there and then see how they sell it out to either a local processor or someone, an investor that's outside. We are also using, there is this application also, Cocoa Asempa. That one basically deals right from when money is being transferred. So within the technology, you'll be able to know that maybe I've transferred, let's say, 5 bags valued at this particular amount to this district manager or to this regional manager. It has moved from there, it goes to the purchasing clerk. So you know that the money is there once it moves in that same cycle until it gets to the takeover center, which is the port. We are also looking at having CCTV cameras across our depots. I gave you an incident where I went to Hohoi Jasikine and realized that this manager was basically doing his own business. I can't be, because the regions are quite a lot. Sometimes you have to be in Volta region, sometimes you have to be at Western North, sometimes you're at the border, far away, Asante region, Eastern region, Central region, Bronga Hafu, a same enclave or around Enche, Samra Boy, you are far. So what can we do? What we can do is that we have an up-to-date technology where at least within time you can easily go on your phone, you know what is happening there in Volta region. So once we have CCTV cameras across our various depots where the cocoa is being kept, at least you're a little bit safe. With that one, at least it cuts down the human interface where there's that level of temptation to engage in corrupt activities. Then also we are looking at how we would facilitate trackers into our haulage. We have this haulage system that we have, trucks that we have been using for hauling, this articulator trucks. Previously there has not been trackers within it. You have the situation whereby maybe a driver is coming across board, we tell you his tire is best or something has happened. You can't tell. And this person is carrying a cocoa load of over 600 bags. He's moving all the way from maybe Enche, Elubu border, and he's coming. And he's giving you stories. By the time he comes, previously there were stories before the person would come and tell you he was changing his tire, and before he realized, armed robbers came and they took one out. And you can't say anything, But at least when you have a tracker and the person is giving you certain stories or maybe certain cameras even on the track, you're able to monitor and verify whether is this person really saying the truth. Where he even claims that he stopped for 1 minute, 30 minutes or whatever it is, you'll be able to see that on the tracker. So these are some of the things we're also trying to do. And in the diversification also, we are looking at how we make our haulage system a separate SBU unit on its own. That should be able to generate some revenue also for the company. We're also looking at using some of our idle depots, facilities where we keep this cocoa, and having a partnership with Buffer Stock and also Ghana Commodity Exchange, where at least we also provide the facility and then they come and then they store some of their produce over there, feedstock, and then give us some percentage for the company to be able to also generate some revenue. These are some of the things we are looking at also. We're also looking at our shared nut factory at Bupe. I don't know if you know of that.
Yes.
It's also under PBC. We are looking at how the previous administration things did not really go well. I mean, they ran into a ground. How we can also revamp it and expand it by having a strategic investor who also brings his money and then supports it. And then we can see how we would expand that space also. Because as we all know, share butter has also now started increasing, especially across the commodity market, so that some revenue is being raised. We're also looking at also expanding the Golden Beam Hotel. Once we get that preference share and the investor comes in and it's expanded, at least we're able to gain some revenue and then generate something for the company at large. Yeah.
I see. I hope all of these things will work out at some point, because some of the stories we've heard them over the years.
Yeah, it's meant to work.
Charlie, sometimes you just can't trust the stuff. But Charlie, how you for how you for do?
Oh, it's work.
You mentioned all of these things along the lines of technology and how you can improve that. So I want to tie that in because you are an operations person, to look at this other area as well. We understand that there are plans to diversify PBC's business operations to generate additional revenue streams, correct? Correct.
Yeah, we are doing that. It's already in motion.
Okay.
Like I said, the diversification, that's with the share at the factory and also the Golden Bean Hotel, because these were part of the reasons why we had the legacy debt. Yes. So the diversification has already started. We are doing all of that.
Okay, let's we're probably wrapping up now, and then maybe we'll touch on one or two other things as well. We're looking at organizations that, for whatever reason, key, like you mentioned, up to about 12%, your efforts to the GDP of Ghana. And we're looking at how these organizations are managed. Sometimes you get the feeling that because it is government, unfortunately, because it's government, and because the leadership of these organizations are pretty much down to the political party in power, it's a case of, okay, I come in, I do what I want to do, good or bad. If my government is voted out of power, I don't lose anything. Nobody will kill me. I won't go to court. I won't be arrested for taking bad decisions. Life goes on. The other one comes in. They try to, if you like, fix the mess. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, I know that these days there's a lot of talk surrounding what the president is tasking Professor Pesa White to do to ensure that you guys who are managing some of these SOEs are doing what you have to do. One of the things that annoys me, to be honest, is when I see companies who are not doing well and they are doing end of year party. Because you don't need anybody to tell you that this organization is not doing well. They are always in the news for the wrong reasons. Yet when they are doing end of year party, they are doing it at Golden Beam or Kempinski or something like. What are they celebrating? In another 3 years, 5 years, I don't know how long you'll be there. 10 years, 15 years, short term, medium term, long term. Where do you see PBC if the current recovery plans succeed?
What we are looking at to do is that first and foremost, our major headache now is to see how we clear the legacy debt. So that is one big headache that's on our neck. So we are hoping that at least in the next, it shouldn't be up to a year, at least with the banks. Roughly, we are looking at before the season even starts, and that's in September. We should be able to have found a solution. That's by raising the preference share using Golden Beam to pay off the banks. Then we know that at least that one is done. Then now we'll look at how we'll be able to move our operations, because the 3,000 tons plus I was talking about, that's valued of over 150 million.
CDs, dollars?
CDs.
Okay.
Was done across just 72 districts. So we are looking at least utilizing all our 100 operational.
There are about 261 districts in Ghana also.
Yes,
but I don't know if it is like that with the cocoa structure.
Cocoa is 127.
Okay.
We don't grow cocoa in every district.
Sure.
Yes, so it's 127 districts across the nation. So we are looking at, we have offices in all these 127 districts. But as at now, we are only operational in 100. So we are hoping that at least in the next 3 to 5 years, we should be able to operate fully in all these districts, which will also help the state at large, especially when it comes to smuggling, because we are cross-border and aggregation, and the farmers have that trust in PBC, because PBC is the buyer of last resort. When every LBC, especially around this period of time during the light crop season, when you go across the various regions, majority of the private LBCs have closed their depots, because plus or minus, most of them have made their profits. They've set the targets for themselves, so they are done. And around this period of time, operating is very risky, because this is a case whereby most of these purchasing clerks, they take monies from different institutions. So the person takes maybe from you, I'm going to buy. You don't know where he's going to get it from. He has told you he has this cooperative and this number of farmers. So you can't also tell the person that, oh, maybe once I give you the money, I'm going to follow you. It doesn't work that way. You only have to hope and pray that he comes back with your cocoa. And once you have that commitment with him, and maybe he has signed a bond with you, and you know where maybe he lives, or he has guaranteed using a government worker as a guarantor, it's still even not safe. Because in the past, we've had situations whereby someone comes, it takes about 1 million, 2 million. The person comes to give you an excuse and tells you that, oh, when I went, I was able to purchase, instead of maybe 200 bucks, he comes to give you a story of, I was able to get 150. The 50 that is left, the people said, oh, the farmer said, oh, because of the weather, it's raining nowadays. When it gets, they'll dry it, and then before you realize the person is gone. And you can't do anything about it, so it's very risky. So we are hoping that at least once we're able to expand and cut across in all the 127 cocoa growing districts, that should also be a plus to be able to even help the government at large, to be able to minimize the smuggling issues. So that's what we are looking at. And also paying our statutory payments, especially with SNITs and the salary arrears. We're hoping that once we are in full operations, whatever salary arrears that are there of 20 months will pay up. Because at least right from October to June, we've not even paid them July yet, because of 1 or 2 issues. But we are seeing how we turn things around, because the season hasn't ended. We are still purchasing some beans. Once we make the margins out of that, we'll be able to pay them off.
Do you also owe some farmers?
No, as at now, no. We don't owe any farmer. We've paid up.
Okay, because now I don't hear them shouting.
Yes. No, from our side, that's PBC.
Okay.
Maybe probably certain other private LBCs might be credited.
Those are the private ones?
Yes, the private one.
Okay.
But for us, we have done our best to make sure that we are up to date with payments. We've paid them across. We don't owe any farmer.
Okay.
As of now.
That's a very interesting one. Let me take some messages that have come in and then wrap up the conversation. Okay, this one is coming from John in Spintex. You say that, Kwame, the cocoa industry has faced all kinds of problems over the years. I hope that the current management of the PBC company would be able to turn things around going forward. Okay, thank you very much. This one is coming from Bobby. You say you're sending your message from Spintex. You say, Dr. Seto and his team are doing a very good job, but I have a question for him. What are their books looking like at this particular point? I just heard him talk about all the new things that they are trying to do, but are their books in a very good state? Maybe you want to answer this before
yes,
I go on.
like I was saying, Kwame, it's a public record that we have some issues with the banks. Like I was saying, that in the course of time, before the next season, we are hoping that at least that legacy debts that we came and met would be offsetted. So with the books, basically majority is with the banks, which is 200 and something million, 250 plus. The shareholders have met with them. There's an agreement that we should be able to pay on time, about 80 million. That's what they are ready to take, which we are working assiduously to be able to make sure that we fulfill that commitment. And once the preference shareholder comes in using our strategic assets, that's the Golden Bean Hotel, that will be gone. So hopefully before September, once I come back, I should be able to speak to that.
Okay, interestingly, I have 1 or 2 messages on the Golden Beam that you mentioned. This one is coming from Nana Kusi. He says, Kwame, is a Golden Beam Hotel the one around
Lancaster
Ridge in Kumasi?
Yes, that's it.
Okay. Well, I know it's that one. And he says, Kwame, I go to that hotel every now and then. There are almost every time there are programs there. I am sure they are making a lot of money from that hotel.
Oh yeah, that one is true. There's a lot of revenue.
Okay.
Yeah, they are competing with Lancaster.
Oh, okay.
It's now that the rich condos and others have come. But the pay setter was Golden Bean Hotel.
Oh, I see. I've been there once.
Yeah, once. Yeah.
This must be maybe before COVID.
Before COVID. Okay,
yeah, I went for an event there. I've been there once, and I liked it, to be honest. Yes. I did not even know at the time because everybody. I mean, there are hotels scattered all over Kumasi.
Lancaster,
so I was invited for a program that I was like, oh, this is like a very good place.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next message is pretty much to do with
expanding even.
Oh,
At
okay.
least, just adjacent it, you have this lodge.
Yes.
They are looking at maybe in the future, if they decide to give us that land, we'll see how we can expand
On that
on
side
that
as well.
side also. Yes.
Okay. Because I have a message from Kwame Sapon in that regard as well. Kwame, the hotel is in a very good place. I mean, that part of Kumasi is a bourgeoisie area. And I live not too far from there. I see that the place is almost always busy. Even on weekdays, you see a lot of things happening in that hotel. Hopefully, that would be able to deal with some of the debts that your guest is talking about. Okay, thank you very much. Nanama Pukwa says, Kwame, good morning. Your guest spoke about Galamsey and how it appears to be affecting the tonnage of cocoa they are getting. I am happy with the answer he gave, but I hope they can do more together with all the organizations who are fighting Galamsey to get a lot more cocoa farmers back into farming. Okay. I'm sure you are coming from a cocoa growing area. That's why you are worried.
Protecting their interest.
Yeah, they are
very
protecting
important.
their interests. That's why you are talking about this. Okay, this one is coming from Nana Ose. You say you're a farmer. Kwame, your guests mentioned the support they are giving to cocoa farmers. Yes, it is true. But like Oliver Twist, if they can do more, we would appreciate it. Okay, you say you are from Achim Tafo. You do some business there in that area. Okay, all right. Thank you. This one. Okay. Okay, this one. Okay, you say your name is Kofi Usu. You say, good morning, Kwame and your team. Your guest mentioned all the supports that they are providing for cocoa farmers, or that they have been providing cocoa farmers with over the years. But one of our major challenges has to do with the fact that we produce the cocoa beans, and then sometimes it takes a while for them to come for them. So just like your guest mentioned, sometimes by the time they come for them, some of them are not in a good state and we lose money. We pray that the new management would come for the cocoa a little early so that we don't have to lose someone. At least that one you addressed it. Okay, so he addressed it. Okay, you sent the message earlier, so I'm sure by the time he was speaking, you were listening to that as well. Okay, let me take one or two more. This one is coming from Michael in Spintex. You say, Kwame, good morning, and to you and your team. The cocoa issues have been coming back and forth. We would appreciate if every now and then Dr. Seto and his team make themselves available to address them, because most often they do not appear to say much. We only get to hear about them when there are issues. If they can make themselves available, even when they have some new things coming up, or when they've been able to surmount one or two challenges, it is always better that way than to hear from them once in a long while. Okay, they are very busy people. So what we would also try to do is that once in a while, we will try and get them in to address the issues that come from that space. Okay, I'm running out of time. So, Doc, let me give you the final word on those one. There are a lot of stakeholders. There are a lot of interest groups in the cocoa industry. Any final message you have for them?
Yes. Thank you very much, Kwame. And in fact, it has been a nice session so far. What I would like to say is that we would like to encourage our farmers that they shouldn't despair at all. Once they have kept that trust with us, they should still keep it up. PBC isn't gone. We are still operating. And as at now, what we are trying to do is that we know that whatever beans we've picked up from them, we are still supposed to come and pay them some bonuses and commission, which we are working on. So across the various districts where we've made our purchases, we would like them to know that there are commissions and bonuses which it's an industry practice, will surely be given to them. And we would like them to also know that we've had that partnership with their mother association, that's NACOFA, which basically is the National Association of Cocoa Farmers, which have decided to partner PBC to help with aggregation across board. So when they see us across their communities or districts, it shouldn't be a surprise at all. It's one of the measures we are going to use in mobilizing a lot of cocoa beans for the state. I would also like to encourage the various workers also that all hope is not lost. We are working together as a team. Let's just keep our focus, and we are very sure that very soon things would get to its final conclusion, especially with the banks. Their salary arrears will be paid, and then at least we'll have those good old memories back where PBC used to be the leading licensing buying company, as the finance minister has reiterated. That was just this year in March. Would also like to make a passionate appeal, myself also personally, to His Excellency the President, that I think he has done his best, at least by supporting us through engagement, because at least my boss has met him not less than twice since we came into office to discuss certain measures that they'll be able to take place, equally as the finance minister. But what we are appealing for is that within the new cocoa bill and the new financial modeling structure, whatever allocations that are going to be made across board to the various licensing buying companies, we should take cognizance of the fact that PBC remains the only state licensing buying company. The 580 plus workers shouldn't be left idle when it comes to consideration of fund disbursement. At least we should also be prioritized. Once we've said that we are going to make sure that 50% of the cocoa is being processed here locally, when it comes to the buying also, at least PBC should also be prioritized. That's just what I'm going to.
Okay.
My final words. Yeah.
So in the last hour,
And thank you very much to your cherished listeners also. Yeah. We appreciate their text messages. Yeah. And thank you also very much, Kwame.
Sure. Dr. Seto Kwame Fiajo has been our guest for the last hour and 20 minutes, addressing as many of the issues concerning PBC and the cocoa industry. So for you in that space, pass the message on, pass the info on. They are on their way to glory, if I can put it that way. And hopefully things would get back to normal. A big thank you to Doc again. A big thank you to all our texters who sent in messages. Irajo is already sitting here for the news at 10. It was a Friday, going for the weekend. Take it easy, God willing. We'll catch up